Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another wonderful episode of Two Beers Deep. No, Sid, you never do get out of Hogsmeade. That is the entire game. Greg, can you hear me? Can I hear you? What's up?
I would hope that you can hear me. I can hear you perfectly loud and clear. Your voice is just coming in silky smooth through my ear holes. Just what can I say?
Hopefully, those are the only holes I am touching today.
Hopefully, indeed. Yeah.
It's been a big week, Greg. We got a lot of stuff going on, but I have one question for you, my good man.
What is the question you have for me?
Do you remember your Patronus without looking at it?
Yeah, the Sparrowhawk.
All right, fuck you. Last week's Two Beers Deep, it was good to be back. We took a long time off. Uploaded on Spotify, up to YouTube. YouTube Shorts popping off, which is the greatest invention in American history, Greg. Anything you want to say before we give the greatest introduction to Laramie's greatest radio host ever?
You know what? There's not really much I can add to it other than I am back and I'm... God, what?
Sid said, stop the intro music, please. Don't you normally play it over top of this little thing, Josh? Yeah, fuck you, Sid.
Yeah, what the hell?
All right. Sorry, Greg. You keep going.
I
got you, Josh.
Yeah, what a dick, just ruining my comeuppance on that one. All right, but yeah, I was saying I'm happy that we're back and all that stuff, but yeah, geez, now I'm off all on a tangent now. I just want to be like, fuck him. Be stuck in Hogsmeade all you want, man. That's what you get.
Josh! He's boycotting it. I don't think he's going to come on now, Sid. I think the music's playing the whole 2-hour show.
He seems really perturbed by this, and this is not cool. We did nothing wrong. This was all the fans that did this. So.
To be fair, in Sid's defense, he did say, I'm just messing with Josh, and I think that's very funny.
Could go a couple of ways in that sense.
Sid Vicious? You like that?
Wait, which Sid Vicious? The one from the Sex Pistols or the wrestler?
Always the wrestler, Greg. I should never have to tell you that. It's always.
Why do you know who's in the Sex Pistols? Am I on the outs here? I don't know band members of the Sex Pistols.
No, it's.
Go ahead.
Sid Vicious. I was gonna say like Sid Vicious is like it's either him and I think Johnny Rotten is the other one too. Those are like the two famous names from the Sex Pistols.
All I know is the Sex Bombs.
Sex Bombs.
And we are here to kick your fucking teeth in. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I just watched that movie the other night again. Yeah, full slate of Two Beers Deep coming at you guys. We got a really fun show.
He's 100% right about the Johnny Rotten thing. Not that
Did you look it
up? Surprised.
How many people are in the Sex Pistols?
Shit.
There's 4, I think.
Okay.
It was just a punk band. Like I think.
Name one guy from Leonard Skinner.
Ugh.
I just found out why they're called Leonard Skinner the other day.
I'm not sure.
You can do this.
I can't think of them. No, I'm sorry.
You can't think of John Bon Jovi?
That's
wrong band. But
what?
That's not it.
No.
What band is Bon Jovi in?
Bon Jovi.
Bon Jovi.
Oh, man, living on a prayer. All right, let's crack these beers, and then I actually have one question for you guys off of that one. So, Give me a ready, boys.
Ready for it.
3, 2, 1, action. Tonight, I am drinking a Two-Hearted IPA. Taking it back, one of the classic beers. It's one of the go-to beers when you walk into a bar, you don't know what you want. Greg?
Funny enough, since we're talking like rock and punk bands, I'm drinking the Oh Mama collaboration from Voodoo with Styx. Can't go wrong with that. Yeah, love the can design and lovely little lager.
Damn.
What?
Mine is so lame now.
No, you have the best one.
I just have Liquid Death.
Yeah, that's the best one.
Yeah.
Sparkling water Liquid Death.
We're big Liquid Death people here at the bench. Nothing wrong with that.
I decided to punt on the beer today because
that's fair. I almost did.
We'll be drinking quite a bit on Sunday, would be my guess. Also,
more than
real
likely.
Quick, I'm going solo cam. You can see behind me, I've been collecting the artwork off the Liquid Death boxes.
Have you really?
Yeah. They're all different
I did-
depending on which kind of one you get.
I
Yeah.
did not realize that that's what you had hanging back there. That's
Yeah.
awesome because
So-
I love those.
I thought
I
they were
love those when I
albums,
get them. I
'cause
thought
they
so
got a
too.
hole
Honestly,
in the middle.
Yeah, no Liquid Death boxes.
No, I
Go ahead, Greg.
I recognize the hole on them, but like I didn't realize that's what you had hanging up. That's actually pretty cool.
Is that worse than in college when I used to hang my sports jerseys up on the wall?
No, I
Or
think
is
it's
this-
like right on
No.
par, or like
Same
empty
thing?
cases. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Uh,
empty liquor bottles, of course, or like you would like take the cases and like stick them to your wall and stuff to make a collage and shit, basically.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
First question for you guys tonight. Have you heard of cocaine beer?
Bear?
Cocaine bear?
One,
Do you mean
one.
bear or beer?
Cocaine bear?
Bear.
If the Rank King himself was on here, he would go on a fucking tangent about this because he's the one that educated me about this, and I can't believe this is a movie. And it's throwing me off because I heard Elizabeth Banks is the director for it, which is even more throwing me off in that case.
So if that threw you off, how about $316 million worth of cocaine just floating in the Pacific Ocean? And so my comment was Cocaine Shark's going to be a hell of a sequel to Cocaine Bear. And I just want to know what animal on cocaine is the worst, because I thought it was a bear till now I'm thinking about a great white.
Ooh. I actually, if like a whale got it or something like that, I understand like they're not predators and shit, but that's big.
Oh.
Big
I think
animal.
Sperm whale
think
on
where
cocaine is going to become a predator.
You're right.
Mhm.
I think it's the orca.
Orcas are dicks.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. And we all know, like, investment bankers on cocaine are dicks, so you don't need to give an orca cocaine.
I want to do a
No.
line off a narwhal's tooth.
Yeah, exactly.
Narwhals swimming in the ocean, causing a commotion because they are so awesome.
Speaking of that song,
That's the
narwhals.
I have one other question before we get the show started. Who's the last good band? Is there one like that, like the most recently put together good band? Because there's a bunch of bands still going. Who's the most recently put together band you guys are like, I love? Because when you said Sex Pistols, I was like, they haven't made a good band in a while. But then I'm like, they have made some good bands.
When you refer to they, you're just talking about the general music industry, just
Yes.
making good
That's,
bands.
that's
Yeah.
exactly what he's referring to.
Who did you? Who would you? Who do you think it is?
Oh god,
There's a guy that puts on. It's like Simon Cowell, but bands.
Simon Cowell, but bands. Okay. Sorry, when I'm thinking of making a band, I'm literally thinking of making the band on MTV when
We're
you
shutting
said
down the
that.
studio.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. When you like did that, that's like what my mind immediately went to, and I'm like, I'm not doing that. No.
Chip said Pod of Killer Whales and then Foo Fighters.
It's a good
Foo
good
Fighters
poll.
been around for a while, right?
Foo Fighters actually originally was just
Grohl.
Dave Grohl. He was just playing like instruments randomly and then put an album together. And when people heard it, he was like, fuck, I have to put a band together.
So,
I would say, just because we talked about it on the upcoming episode of A Great Depression that'll drop Monday, Avenged Sevenfold.
when did they come out?
When I was in high school.
Yeah, because they were the first rock concert I ever saw. First time I was ever in a mosh pit was an Avenged Sevenfold concert.
I
Actually.
want to know why Dre said his 2 Beers Deep not live. Can I call him?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. Go ahead if you want.
And
Yeah.
I just really need to know this. Sid said Nickelback.
Yeah, make sure that's nice and close to the mic.
For everyone to hear.
Hey man, what's up?
Nothing. I was gonna chime in because I was gonna watch the show, but I wanted to chime in because I'm sure talking NBA trade deadline, it was crazy.
Yeah, we're live on air right now, man. What's up?
Oh wow. Do we talk about Kevin Durant?
No, have you found the show yet?
No, I have not. Part of it is because I guess I have to subscribe, I believe, and I don't have a YouTube account, so I gotta create one.
You definitely don't got to subscribe. I think you just go to youtube.com.
No, literally just pull it up.
Yeah. Greg's
that's
pretty upset with you right now, man.
I'm highly disappointed. This is not
Yeah,
right.
I'm trying to find it myself because I YouTube thoughts from the bench, and all I see is, I see Josh's solo cam got 500 views, so that's cool.
Just hang out.
That's cool.
Why are we doing technical support on air? But I love it.
I
Oh
no,
my
do you
God.
know the whole thing was I was 100% gonna call and be like, how's Twitch? He still thinks on Twitch. I've had so many
I was
people tell me,
hoping.
be like, "Oh,
I
go
was
into the show on
hoping.
Twitch."
I was really hoping that he was just staring at a blank Twitch screen, waiting for us to come on. That would have been great.
All right. Well, we got a hell of a show. We got a lot to talk about. When he joins, can we play the intro again since then? Let's dive into it, guys.
Do not mess this up even more. Like Josh is producing enough. Like having to have him go back and do all that would just make his head spin.
Chip said he's only 10 minutes late this time.
Nice.
Way to go, Chip. Proud of you. Proud of you. Timeliness.
No.
Timeliness is a great fact.
He's saying Dre is, Greg.
Oh, I thought Chip was saying he was late. I apologize.
Chip commented. Josh, am I fucking insane?
Famously,
Yes.
Chip can only watch the beginning of the show because he has to go to bed.
Yeah,
that is true. I apologize.
I mean, like literally.
Start the whole show over. We might. All right, so let's start the show. Let's actually do stuff. Let's talk.
Okay. All right, ready?
Yep.
Okay,
We're ready.
So we are now decided that we're going to do the draft to start the show because why not?
Chip goes to bed early. This
Chip
is
goes
why.
to bed early, right? And
HR needs to handle this.
So Derek found this really awesome website where these little 8-bit running backs are going to run across our screen and pick what our draft topic is. These were pre-picked draft topics. We'll do some more crowdsourcing to begin with, later. But the topics for today are brand mascots, fast food menu items.
We still don't know what brand mascots is.
Worthless Pokemon, childhood toys, periodic table.
Did you see the stuff about that one?
Yeah,
it adds up to a number, but we can't Google. But if you say an element and the other guys don't call you out on it, you get double your whole points.
I love it. That's a great idea.
Periodic element, non-craft beer drafts, and those are the 6. So I'm gonna hit start rush. Cheer for your favorite. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Periodic table.
Okay.
I just want brand mascots because it's so
in the
confusing.
lead is childhood toys. First one to reach the 50-yard line. Looks like it's fast food menu items. Who's gonna close it out? Fast food menu items and childhood toys really battling
He's
out
at the
here.
40.
Childhood toys is
He's
pulling
at the
away. Oh,
30.
here comes fast food menu.
He's at the 20. He's at
Periodic
the 5.
I'm on the biggest delay right now.
That was a lecture content, I'm sure, especially for the listener.
Let's make the podcast guys love that one. Let's make the field longer next time.
Yes.
Okay, where's my draft board? Here we go. Okay, we're in the draft board, and the topic is fast food menu items.
So this is not meant to be like the secret items or any of that shit. This is literally just like the top goddamn fast food ones. You know what I mean? Because I know the rankings done secret ones, but that was the intent. We can talk about what we want to do.
I would also
like to
go ahead.
Are we pulling out like the limited edition ones as well that only come out like during a specific season?
Ooh, good question.
I think the McRib is on the table.
Okay.
So Shamrock
Clear on
Shake,
that.
chicken shoestrings, chalupas, all those.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything.
I'm cool with everything. Yeah.
I would say that to qualify as a fast food restaurant, it must have a drive-through. Do not come up here with your fucking Chipotle order. I'll punch you in the nose.
Are there not drive-through Chipotles?
Correct.
By default, then I can make
Derek
sheets.
just jumped right to Google. He didn't even kind of like buy that. He was just
No, they got car side.
Oh, that's just too fancy. That's like basically you're saying we're above drive-through in that case.
Yeah, but what about Sonic?
They call it the Chipotlane.
Now that's great brand awareness. They
had drive-throughs in some location. I don't want to add Chipotle, but I'm just curious because I was like, that'd be hectic. You're like screaming through the window, yeah, black beans, not pinto, please. While they're or it's just the thing, but out like almost outside with a wall, and you're like, yeah, as you drive through the window.
That'd be amazing. Just have like a line of people like ready to make your burrito or your bowl, and you're just like slowly going up, and they're asking you what you want. That'd be an interesting idea.
Who's going first?
Dare I say we do another running back?
Yes, absolutely. Okay, this works out really well.
Oh no.
Hang on.
Some comments coming in real quick. I'm gonna read.
Go for
I
it.
saw on TikTok that he said you were on death row and asked for your last meal to be a McRib and a Shamrock Shake because they are never available at the same time. That's not bad. Chip
Interesting.
says,
Yeah.
is Josh French? Because menu does not need an E at the end. Some shit never changes.
You're welcome.
He's trying to be fancy, damn it. And
Menu?
a lot of French places put an E at the end. Okay, it's the thing.
Dre said, is Two Beers Deep not live? Like, I got to watch it after it's recorded. Found the stream on my laptop. Glad to have
There
you.
you
Dre.
go.
Love you, buddy.
Technical support, baby.
Sid
I
writes in,
love it.
Ruth's Chris has curbside.
Let me know when you're ready to run this
No.
back.
Now
I'm
you're
on a
lying.
delay, so you lead that stuff, Josh.
Okay.
My
Here we go.
anticipatory cheering does not count.
We are off. Good luck. 3, 2, 1, and they're off. Okay, off to a good start is Greg. Well, all of us kind of have a good racer out here, but Deke is definitely going to reach the 50-yard line first. He does. Greg's now at the 50. Greg has 2 people to 50. Greg might
shut
win this
the fuck
handedly.
up.
Greg
Greg,
is at the
shut
goal line.
up.
Can he finish? Greg is
Let's
going
go.
first.
Let's go.
Deke
Let's
is
go.
going second.
Let's go. Let's go.
And now Greg and Deke finished, and my guys are really just fucking
Yeah.
embarrassing.
Did you lose to the other 3 guys you put in that race, or is
So we each had 2 guys, and both Josh's
okay.
finished last. So that sucks.
I thought there was a wildebeest inbound when Greg was just crashing his hands onto his table where his mic sits.
I was doing a.
Yeah. Oh no, I know what you were doing.
My
buddy.
bad.
I know
Trying
what
to
you were
add
doing.
trying to add dramatic music to it. I apologize.
And just blowing out eardrums all over this great country.
Well, hopefully you don't have us on too loud. I apologize.
Oh, Greg, you are something.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
So
I try
Greg,
hard.
Derek, me. Greg, your first
Menu.
item.
Menu.
Mhm.
All right. I'm starting off simply with a classic go-to fast food item. Give me the Big Mac.
Making sure he knows how to spell Big Mac. Yes, he does. Okay, great. Thank you.
Dre said Chipotle ain't fast food, by the way. You need a drive-through for fast food. Dre, I wish you would have seen the whole show, man. You're right.
Oh my God.
Just imagine
He's
if
so-
you were on time for anything in your fucking life.
That
All
and
you
Sid
have-
said
can't
good
you-
to know Greg's mic's on.
Can't he just click like the live button and he'll be like up to date on being able to watch us? And
No,
stuff?
he
just
is.
let
I'm
him
just
go. This
saying.
is way better.
He's
All
saying
right, fine.
stuff that we already. Okay.
Just pausing. Okay, I like it.
Hot take. Not the best item at McDonald's.
I don't disagree with that, but I also understand where you got to take it one, like with your first overall pick.
Yeah. No. I'm cool with
Taking-
it.
Yeah.
It's like taking a franchise left tackle, to protect the blind side. You need it, but it's not the sexy pick,
I'm gonna take the sexy pick.
Okay.
Now I have a question. Do I,
Sure.
if there's a thing and there are flavors of it, do I have
Yeah.
to pick okay? Cool Ranch Doritos Locos Taco.
Okay. All right.
I nacho cheese is damn near just as good. That Cool Ranch zest, man, that was a game changer for fast food.
There was like the marketing and like the blitz to get that thing to be able to finally make it an issue was incredible.
Oh yeah.
The demand for it alone was amazing.
The my brother calls it the Christmas tree. Cool Ranch Dorito tacos, or just Cool Ranch Doritos or Christmas trees. So because
Okay.
like they
Yeah.
have red and green sparkles.
Okay.
Oh,
That's what I thought you were going. I
Oh.
was like, that's okay. I like that.
I was struggling with that for a second, but I guess it does make sense.
I have a question.
Sure.
For our drafts, do we want to wrap or serpentine or go through? Because we've always just done serpentine.
But there's only
And
3 of us.
Yep. And I never even asked you guys what we wanted to do.
I'm cool with serpentine's fine.
Yeah, serpentine's fine. Why not?
Okay. Well, I was going to make us do another run, but okay. Josh, you're up for 2 then.
Yeah, because you guys are.
We're just
about
gonna
to
do
get
runs for
fucked.
everything now. Go ahead.
I mean, it's the wheel on steroids.
It really is. It's the perfect version of the wheel for 2 beers deep when you think about it.
Facts. All right, Greg, Josh, sorry, what you got?
Yeah, it's Baja Blast and Chocolate Frosty. You guys are fucking pigeons. I can't believe that I got to both of those.
Baja Blast
was-
being out into the world nowadays scares me.
Yeah,
It does.
should be.
It really
Yeah.
does. Yeah.
Should be.
They
It's
made
not
that
fair.
hot sauce out of it.
Yeah.
No, that's
I
good.
forgot about that. That blew me away when I saw that on Twitter. I was like, this should not be a thing. It really shouldn't.
I think that the podcast experience is the one you should send your friends and family, Josh,
Because I can't spell chocolate.
chocolatey.
He was trying to spell it chocolat, L-A-I-T.
He was thinking of his Patronus Ocelot cat.
That's
and he's
right.
chocolate. All right, I'm up for number 2. I like the drink choice. There's only one other elite drink choice in my mind.
Ooh.
And it's McDonald's Sprite.
Okay.
Okay.
That's the only other drink I wanted. So
That's what I figured. Okay. Makes sense. It's the crispiest. There's something different about it. Absolutely.
Yep. Greg, go for 2.
All right. So my next one is going to be give me a Wendy's Baconator.
Yeah, that's a great pick.
Is Wendy's
And-
EY?
Just
Yeah. No, it's not. Sorry. I missed that for a second.
guys, what the fuck?
I don't know. Like my spelling is now off kilter since I've been interacting with Josh more.
Proud of you, Greg.
Oh, wow. Blame
Sorry.
me for the education of alter dice. That's fine. No, it's
Whoa!
fine. It's fine.
Whoa!
I get it.
Don't you
Just a
don't
bunch of
you
goons
like
that
throw
get
my
kicked
high
out of summer league hockey games. It's fine.
Don't you throw my high school education under a bus, Butler? Don't you start with me? All right, and my third one, and I feel like this might piss off Josh, but give me an Oreo Blizzard.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Dairy Queen, baby.
miss. Ooh, wait. Do you think that's the best Blizzard?
Ooh.
Yes.
Okay.
It's the
I
original.
haven't had a Blizzard since 7th grade, so
Josh literally had one for his birthday, so it worked out.
I miss Blizzards, dude. They were so good.
Blizzards were the jam.
I'm sure there's a Dairy Queen in Nashville.
I'm lactose intolerant.
It doesn't matter.
It does. Oh,
Get
it's
tough.
for a lot of people. It does. My body, I can withstand snowboarding down the mountains. I can't withstand some daily in my belly. All right, I'm up for my third pick. This one, a limited time option that we got brought back. Shout out Chance the Rapper, Wendy's Spicy Nugs.
Love them.
I'm very happy with my draft right now.
Mhm.
Arby's Big Montana. Google it. I'm old. What's Arby's Big Montana?
I don't know. Did Chip say that?
Nah, Sid. He's old as
Oh,
shit too.
Arby's
Though. Wow,
Big
that can't.
Montana.
That's so much. That's so much meat.
That
It's
is
a half
lot
pound
of,
of roast beef.
That would be a lot.
Wait,
Lot.
there's a commercial.
Yeah.
There's a commercial for
There's
the
a
big
commercial.
mountain.
Out here, when you say you're better,
Oh,
you'd
this
better
is
be able to
electric.
back it up. This is Arby's new Big
Is
Montana.
it the same
It's
guy
better
that does
than any
the
quarter pound
Arby's?
burger, and here's the backup. It's twice as big. A
this
full
is
half
like a
pound
Marvel
of beef, and not
man
just your
commercial,
average
right?
beef. Arby's
It's a
slow
Marvel.
roasted beef.
It's a
Add your
Marvel
choice of
red
sauces.
commercial.
Try
to
the
say.
biggest eats
When
in
did
fast
Marvel
food.
become such a
Arby's
tough
new
word to
Big
say?
Montana. Taste-wise,
Is
it's
it like
better.
since we weren't allowed to like
And try
advertise
Arby's
it
new
in like
home-style
the 2000s or
That
something?
was,
I don't know.
that was tight. That was really
Yeah.
cool.
Do you spell spicy wrong, Josh?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Dre's your number one fan today.
Yeah, Dre's mad because I continued to point out how dumb the mid-court celebration for LeBron mid-game was, and he's just
Tune in for later in the show to hear more
He-
about this.
He also thinks
Yeah.
I'm a LeBron hater, which I started liking basketball in 2020. So
Yeah,
you
we
really
literally had
need
to
to, like-
search for you to find a team.
yeah,
Yeah.
like you need to really like get your shit together. Anyway, I'm up,
I'm
right?
a LeBron hater. Yeah, you got
Yes,
two.
you are.
Okay, so I think it's really hard, right? Because I don't want to go Taco Bell heavy, but that's like my ish too. So
You do have an addiction, so that is a thing.
yes. Let's go Crunchwrap Supreme.
Yeah. So I was between them and Doritos Locos Tacos, and I was kind of angsty on two. Crunchwrap Supreme is an absolutely elite fast food menu item.
And then I would say you got to get fries in there, right? Because that's the big debate.
Of course.
I think we each. I'm not saying we have to take a fry. I'm interested to see what happens in that category.
Mhm.
All right, so here's the deal. none of the fries taste the same way as they did when we were kids, right? There was a hierarchy. McDonald's was 1, and then Wendy's was probably 2. Burger King was
They
probably
did that
3.
sea salt bullshit.
Right. And then like everyone just got fucking crazy with it, and then now there's like thick cut fries and all sorts of shit. So I'm going to it's not a punt because it's definitely still fucking electric. I'm going with Arby's curly fries.
No, that's
No, that's
exactly
a
where
great
I was
pick.
gonna go. Yeah.
Great pick, yeah.
I
There
know
is
that
nothing-
the Arby's curly fry tastes the same as it did when I was a child. So there.
There's nothing better than getting one curly fry in a basket of regular fries, and that
It's the
just
dream.
proves- yeah,
It's
that
the
is
dream.
That is the dream. I'm gonna save my fries
Last.
for last, I think, to give Greg a chance at them because I'm interested, right? Because there's one fry I think is the fry,
Okay.
and we'll have to see. I'm gonna go, and this is gonna be a tough one, Josh. The honey butter chicken biscuit from Whataburger. Whataburger is not known up north. Whataburger is something I had in Texas. The honey butter chicken biscuit is arguably the greatest fast food item ever.
Interesting.
Okay. I'm all here. I'm interested.
Was
The
part
fry.
of your
Yeah.
game plan in the drafting strategy that everything had to be at least 3 words?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in the middle of the screen. I was like, let's see what we can do here.
Let's see how I can stretch this.
Yeah.
All right. So for me, for my last two, for the fries on mine, I think now that we're kind of older, there is like one set of fries that has somehow kind of worked its way into popularity now. And for me, it's going to be the Chick-fil-A waffle fries.
There go both my fries.
Mhm.
Yeah, I should have.
The Chick-fil-A waffle fries, man. There's something about them that they're
amazing.
addicting. They're amazing. They're perfect. Like
They're great for dipping.
Yes, that's actually a good point. And Chick-fil-A has a variety of sauces that you can dip in, so you can't go wrong with it either. And then my last one is kind of a slight guilty pleasure, but it's going to be the one that you can't get at most fast food places, the Arby's mozzarella sticks.
Yes, Greg.
Oh.
Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Every time.
Dude, Arby's is so nasty.
It's the most like weird amalgamation of stuff that you can find at a fast food menu, but goddamn it works. Just works.
They're just so weirdly gross.
I know the Rank King was going to try it. Has anyone else tried the Arby's burger yet?
No.
I'm not.
Okay.
I kind of want to.
Yeah, I'm curious.
I was gonna say it's not a full-time thing. They limit it, like I think like for every 6 months or something like that.
Oh, really?
I think because I haven't seen it on like a current menu or anything like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna take what I actually think is the punt in this category, Josh. I'm gonna go with McDonald's fries. I still think they are the king of fries. They're just not. They're not. I need one pick that's not a sexy pick here.
You need a substance pick.
Can I help
Good
you?
balance. Good balance.
I'm doing shit. This dog is just staring at me.
Things like, when are you done?
Yeah, dude. Like,
yeah.
we just started. Yeah, lay down. Good boy.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got my drink, I've got my dessert, I have my main entree in the crunch wrap, I've got my fries. Man. Okay, fuck it. Burger King original chicken sandwich.
Yep.
Classic.
Safe.
Can't go wrong with
Safe. Yeah. Nothing bad with that. Lance wrote in Annie Ann's pretzels should be on here. To be fair, they don't have a drive-through window, do they? They're only in malls.
Yeah.
And airports.
And airport, which is good point. Dave D writes in, Greg, you sexy beast.
Sup.
Oh, the Subway cookie. She's so fucking.
Yeah, so the Subway cookie's a big one. Chip writes in the Subway pomegranate Sobe Life drink, which is what I get every single time, which is elite. I'm looking at a list right now. A couple of the other ones. So, did you say? Yeah, Frosty was on this list. It's a good one, Josh.
I didn't even think of this, but I would have totally done Dunkin' like cold brew or donuts even if I wanted to. Because they have a drive-through. They had drive-through.
Blueberry cake donuts from Dunkin'.
Shout out to the ranking. You could have done Starbucks.
Yeah.
Oh,
cake.
that's true.
Could have. Cajun fries from Five Guys. Those are the ones I was considering over McDonald's, but I just had to
Oh,
hit the
just
classic.
a
Have you ever
brown
seen
bag
a
of
Five
grease
Guys-
on the bottom.
But have you ever seen a Five Guys with a drive-through?
Let's look at the internet.
You know what? That's a good question. The only Five Guys I've ever seen are the one in Oakland, and then like other ones that are attached to like
There's one downtown too, Greg.
shopping.
Huh, I don't think they have.
Oh yeah, but that's like in Market Square too. So like that's also like, doesn't count.
Definitely not a drive-through at that one.
We all fucked up because the Permanis in Moon has a drive-through. We could have.
Oh my god.
Big whiff KFC chicken bowl. Don't hate that one, Dre. Have you seen a Subway with a drive-through? Yes, the Subway back in Kiski at the old Video City has a drive-through. Ty.
Yep,
So
ours does here.
He said because I have. Baja Blast is good, but sometimes it's watered down. So I don't know if it should be number one. Vo said that's not.
No,
but I think it's one.
I don't drink pop anymore, but like I would, if I did have like one day where I didn't have to worry about it, I would go for a Baja Blast easily.
It is watered down nowadays, though.
Is it?
The last couple I've had, I'm like, It's like
I don't
hints
know,
of
man.
Baja.
Maybe
It's
in
not as much of a
Laramie they
blast.
just give you that shit right in your veins, you know.
MH24C all day. Yeah.
I would not be surprised at all if you convinced the people in Laramie to let you do that, just out of curiosity.
Okay.
I'd like
They'd be
it.
all for it.
Cool. Well, that was for you, Chip, because you go to bed early, buddy.
Yeah.
Loads of topics to get into. Josh, lead the way.
All right, Dre, here's your time. Sound off. LeBron breaks the record.
The Honey Buddy Chicken Biscuit dish from Whataburger, Ty. So, King James, LeBron James breaks, what is it, a 40-year record at this point, Greg?
Correct.
Can I say one thing?
Go ahead.
Absolutely.
I think this is the best case scenario for us getting high school players to the league directly again. Because you can't, no one's ever going to be able to break this record because it's a year of, and I'm not saying anybody's coming close right now. Like the closest is KD and he's a bajillion points behind. He's not getting it right. But you look at some of these guys, they have to go to college, whatever it is. LeBron was an absolute adult by the age of 16. So I'm not saying anyone's like that, Greg or Josh, but it is a year. It is a year in a real situation. So if there was ever a time to try to get us to do that, that would be what I'd say here. But it is probably, and I'm interested to hear you guys' POV on this. I would say it's one of the bigger moments in sports history we've witnessed. Is it the most impressive record we've ever seen broken? I think it's up there, right? I mean, Phelps getting all his medals up there, LeBron breaking this record up there. There's a couple. I think that this is one of the most significant moments in sports history, let alone the one we saw.
I think what's kind of fascinating about it, and I was like thinking back about it when he broke the record entirely, how much longer can he play is the part that like I was wrapping my head around. Like he can play what, 3-4 more years? So he could
at a high level.
Even it's fair, but like even if he's like comes off the bench or something like that, like that's still adding to the total at that point. So like this record like we say all the time like, oh, this record will never be broken. Like there's certain ones that like in the grand scheme of things will probably never be broken. I can't see anyone coming close to breaking this record simply for the fact that like LeBron found kind of like that secret ingredient for being able to do all that he did. Instead of being like, that elite killer that Michael Jordan is, which is why we all have that debate about who's better. LeBron was just basically like, I'm going to find a way to extend my career as long as I possibly can and make everything unattainable. So we're at the point that like, because no one is ever going to break this record unless they go on an absurd scoring run that would just like destroy every precedent whatsoever in that case.
I mean, they would have to get the keys to multiple franchises, be able to construct multiple rosters. And I don't know if we ever see someone like that. I mean, LeBron and Tom Brady feel very similar. Longevity is going to get you stuff, right? But longevity is not a knock. How like being able to keep your body in top shape and not get hurt and win and have a winning team, that shouldn't be a knock on these guys, but it is just kind of one of those things where it's like, if you're around long enough, you're going to get something. Mark Jackson, I think, is top 10 in NBA 3 points made or something like that. Mark Jackson sucked. So like, if you're around long enough, Greg, Greg, he sucked.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm surprised. I'm surprised that he's top 10. And I was just like, wait a sec, really?
Yeah.
But then when you
Good.
brought it up that like he was just around for a long time, I was like, okay, that makes sense. But yeah, no, I think for the longest time, longevity, if you think about it, like think about this, Deke. Like, how much do we laugh at the fact that Udonis Haslem is still a member of the Miami Heat?
They went to his house and begged him to come back.
Yes.
That was a literal statement that came out. That man is AARP ready. Like,
Yes.
let the man go. Like, why are you forcing him to get in shape? And he wants to. Obviously, it's fine. It's whatever. God damn, let that man go off into the sunset.
Yeah, that is like the opposite side of longevity. But here's the thing: like, he's such like ingrained into Miami Heat culture now that like that's never gonna be an issue. But like in terms of LeBron, I would be curious how many future players like down the line now probably find ways to make that work, because you hear all this stuff about guys that like invest millions of dollars a year just into their bodies and getting it like ready to go and stuff like that. But LeBron was probably the first true NBA example of like being able to keep yourself in shape for an extended period of time and being able to play at a high level. Like, he's 39 right now and he should not be averaging 33 a game. He shouldn't be.
My only name that even comes close, to be fully transparent, is Vince Carter. Because Vince Carter played until damn near like 50 years old. Not really, but and he didn't do it at the same level, right? Vince Carter was a bench rotation player, nowhere near it. But to your point,
and he expected that position too, yeah, which is even more something that you wouldn't think of as well in that case. But it's fascinating to look back to remember like when Kareem was near the end of his run as a Laker, and he was probably damn near close to the same age as LeBron is now, and Kareem was like a shell of himself at that point.
So really good comment came in, Jared DeGore. What's up, buddy? How you doing? Good to hear from you. Do you think anyone breaks Curry's 3 record?
Yes.
Did that comment get deleted? Did he delete that comment or did you delete that comment, Josh?
No, I didn't touch it.
It just went away. Anyways, the 3 record. For me, the game is evolving into the 3-point shooter stuff. So that record seems more possible to hit than this. It's just going to take a special person, so whatever. But back on what you were saying about the body type, the ability, all that stuff, that's important. What also is important is that these franchises literally handed him the keys. Cleveland the first time around didn't give him what he wanted, right? So he goes to Miami and makes a super team after the USA team. Leaves Miami, goes to Cleveland, makes a team. Go to LA, makes a team. Like, he is the GM. I don't know if these coaches, because look at LeBron and then look at Kevin Durant. LeBron's worked out. Every team he's been on has won a championship. Kevin Durant chose Kyrie Irving and the Nets over staying with Curry and Thompson and them. He's now leaving again. There's two very explicit examples of giving a player that ability. One is arguably the greatest player of all time. The other one is Kevin Durant at this point. I think more franchises look at the Kevin Durant situation and say that's the more likely outcome for players moving forward than the LeBron one.
But it's also the type too that when you're comparing the two, LeBron has such a type A personality that will do everything in his power to try to succeed because he's a leader. Like, he's the type of person that like the buck stops with him and he will like be vocal about it and he'll hold guys accountable. KD's just a guy that, quite frankly, when KD was with the Warriors, he was not the leader of that team. He was just kind of like a side piece that all he did was hoop and he won his 2 rings. Like, that's the other argument with him about this. Like, KD will never be the type of person that is going to command the room and hold guys accountable for that stuff. He just wants to play basketball and that's it. And nothing wrong with that, but trying to like make him like the lead of something is never going to work out, which is kind of why I'm looking forward to like, which we'll talk to in a bit about the Sun situation, because he's back essentially in the same situation he was with Golden State.
This is a question for both of you. If today's draft was greatest scorers in NBA history and you had the first pick, let's say LeBron broke the record last year.
I was going to say, I was like, you kind of have to now, right? Like,
so, but let's say like he has the record. He is. If you are selecting a team of the greatest scorers, and I think this is what the JJ Redick clip was talking about. Dude, low-key, he does not come to mind as much as he should, because he does so much and he's done it for so long. Scores, I'm like Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar,
Dame.
It's Dame. Yes, exactly.
MJ,
Devin Booker. I'm like, Devin Booker. He's a scorer. Yeah. Dude, it's one of those things where it doesn't really make sense until you're like, no, he's scored the most points.
Which is kind of why, when you think about it, it's now going to be just this record has now kind of become unsexy, like it's now in comparison to kind of like the Cal Ripken record of like most games played.
Can
where
we let
like
the record show, Josh, that I am not the biggest LeBron hater on the show anymore?
All right,
it is. It is like, no, I'm giving him credit just because of the fact that like he kept himself in shape and he still has the desire to play and stuff. But like this record now, because of the fact that it took him 20 years to do it and he can still play at a high level and he's going to put it out of reach for the next person to do it. Like this record is now going to just be, it's going to be unattainable. And it's going to be something that no one's ever going to talk about anymore, just because like who in their right mind is going to play another 20 years and even come close to matching his production?
Well, so that brings me to the point that I kind of had where I was saying on one, I think it was one of the clips, I was commenting back with people. And my whole perspective on that is that it's changed, right? So I don't see Luka. I don't see Giannis. I don't see these guys wanting to play that long. Life back when it was like Jordan in the NBA, and I think LeBron is literally the last of a dying breed, guys. And what I mean by that is like basketball is their entire existence. Mikey, who is going to be the number 1 overall draft pick or whatever in his class with Bronny, he could just be done with basketball. He has millions upon millions upon millions of followers across social media. Zion Williamson coming out. Like, I don't think it's about being the best basketball player anymore. It might be at that moment in time for guys like Dame, Steph, KD, all these guys, Luka. It's about being the best on the court. When you look at the grand scheme of being the best basketball player ever, I don't think that ambition is on the table anymore. And maybe it's because LeBron put it too far out of reach, or Jordan is this ghost, because LeBron's been chasing a ghost. Let's be real about it. I don't believe guys going to the league right now want to be considered the greatest ever, because it makes a lot more sense to just enjoy your life.
Well, also, when you put that in perspective too, LeBron was probably the first NBA player I could argue that also really kind of wrote the playbook for how to enhance your life after basketball as much as possible. Like, think about everything he's involved in.
He's the bridge between old and new with his
video
companies.
I mean, fuck, if you looked at like, if you saw like I think it was on Twitter yesterday, like Liverpool and him just announced a new collaboration with his brand. And like now Liverpool has jerseys with like the King logo on it and stuff like that. And he's part of the ownership.
Thanks, Greg.
Sorry, bud. But I hate that he's part of the ownership for them now and stuff like that. But
LeBron hater.
So yeah, but like LeBron is essentially the template now for players in the NBA, where it's like basketball's not the most important thing, and that's not a bad thing necessarily, because the game is always going to grow, and because these guys are so electric at what they do, that it's just gonna always be something that's there. But now I would say most of these guys, because of the fact that there's so many other revenue streams, there's so many outside perspectives that you can get involved in and expand your wealth, it's not an issue anymore. Like, even if you look at KD's got his own investment firm that has like ownership in a lot of stakes and stuff like that. So it's just, it's a new mindset now for today's athlete, which instead it was like, make as much money as you can, play as long as you can, so the revenue can keep coming in, because after that you're done.
Yep. It's about a brand and a logo and all that. Real quick, and then we can switch topics here, unless you have something, Josh. Dre gets a lot of flack for his takes. Dre gets a lot of flack for like, and I think wrongly, this might be your worst take ever, in my opinion, Dre.
That's saying a lot, but go ahead.
Here's my KD take. He has overtaken Scottie Pippen as the best Robin of all time. He's the all-time bus rider. He isn't a leader by any means, a certified bucket, but never a Batman.
Did he miss the whole, like, where KD almost beat the Bucks single-handedly in 2021?
To me, yeah, he might not have done it, but the best Robin of all time, he needs you need a Batman to be a Robin. And don't say it's Steph Curry, because KD only has one ring, right?
No, he's got two. He's got two rings
with that team, which is fine. For me to be a Robin, you got to be there for a goddamn second. Like, I don't think there was a Robin for any of LeBron's teams. You know what I mean? The Robin title, and it's more just like Scottie Pippen is the literal perfect example of a Robin, right?
So
yes,
you're saying,
but wait.
Can I clarify? So you're saying like Kyrie isn't LeBron's Robin because he was only there for 1 year, even though they won a title?
Oh no, he was. My perspective on a Robin is that you're married to your Batman. Chris Middleton is Giannis's Robin.
Got it. Okay, cool.
That's
right.
And so maybe I'm off on that thought, and Dre's take is not that crazy. To me, the Robin isn't somebody that comes in and is just the B. There's B guys. Klay Thompson is a Robin. Klay Thompson is Steph Curry's Robin.
Okay.
They're married together. They're right there. I don't see like a 1 year, 2 year thing as a Robin. And maybe Dre, maybe my perspective on what a Robin is off. To me, Kevin Durant has never been a Robin just because he's the second guy on a team. The second guy on the team. What Dad just sent me a text saying Dwayne Wade. Yeah, Dwayne, what do you mean?
He's talking about Dwayne Wade when you talked about like a Robin to LeBron when he was in Miami.
I said I didn't think he was. I mean, Flash.
Yeah,
I mean, he was the best player on those teams, Greg.
Oh no, he won a ring like with Shaq, and D Wade like proved he was arguably D Wade was the best player on that first championship. Shaq was a presence, don't get me wrong, but like D Wade like became a superstar with that first championship. Dre's take is kind of like similar to what I brought up about how the fact that like he's right, like he's not a true leader. Like I said that
I agree with.
Like he's not a true leader. So like by default alone, because you don't have that type A personality and stuff, it's hard for me to like name you a Batman because of that fact. You're not going to, you'll do everything like for the sake of your job, but then you're going to go home and not do anything after the fact, unless you want to go on Twitter and clap back at people with a burner account, but that's another story. I understand the reasoning for the Robin comment is because of the logic that he didn't win until he went to a team that was already built. So it was kind of like
to Westbrook.
No, I would say
that's kind of
Westbrook had the dominant personality. That's fair, but KD was the best player, but they never won anything. So there's not really a point to that.
Well, do you have to win? I don't think you have to win.
I say yes. Well, that's a good point, Josh. Like, yes, you can't have like guys that are like just known together. Yeah. And like be Batman and Robin.
Stockton, Karl Malone.
Yeah, exactly. Although I don't know who's Batman and who's Robin there.
That's so both, Josh. I'm saying one, they didn't win. So can you decide? Two, I have no clue who Batman and Robin is there. I mean, Kobe and Shaq, I've been very, very adamant that I think Kobe was the Batman because he was there and stuck. But you know what I mean? Like why? Yeah. I don't know. The Batman Robin thing for me only makes sense if it's extremely clear cut. The murky waters of it never makes sense for me. And
here's a fun one: Shaq and Penny.
Yeah, Shaq's Batman, Penny's Robin for sure.
That's a fun example.
Penny has better shoes, but that's fun.
That's fair. They've been re-releasing them actually too.
I know they're sick.
They are.
I don't know. Scottie Pippen's the greatest Robin of all time, though. That's not even a conversation. In all of sports, Scottie Pippen is the greatest Robin of all time. That's my stance. Lean into hockey, lean into anything. That's my stance on Scott.
Deke, I do want to challenge you real quick on the Lakers' first three-peat with Kobe and Shaq.
Please.
The only reason, and it's not even like an intimidating take at all. The only reason I bring it up is because when Shaq became a free agent and he went to the Lakers, he changed the dynamic for the Lakers for the longest time. And if you watch those three championships, like Shaq dominated the inside.
Sure.
When he won those rings and stuff. So
sure.
And Kobe was still young, still growing in the role and stuff like that. So that's why I kind of say Kobe for those first three was the Robin. But when he got those two with Powell, clearly he was the Batman. I'm not going to argue.
Pau Gasol's a Robin.
Pau Gasol's a great Robin, yes. But yes. I would say I would lean towards Shaq being the Batman in that case.
I just don't think there was one. If you watch any interviews about this, I don't know, we're getting into too much about a different topic. If you watch any interviews about that, Kobe literally said Shaquille O'Neal was the greatest basketball player ever if he got his fat ass in the gym. Like Kobe's work ethic against his pure ability was why I don't think there was one. I'm blinded by Kobe love. That's
here's my counter argument, and it's based in something that we
counter
can
for
say
the Pippen take
is like. We can say it's like bullshit or whatever, but Shaq won the 3 MVPs when they won the championship together.
Should have won a fourth, but Steve Nash took it.
Yeah. So, like, you got that, and he won the league MVP in that 2000 year. So, I think that gives credence to Greg's Shaq being the Batman, Kobe being Robin.
I'm saying with that, I don't believe there was that dynamic there, is more my thing. Pippen is a Robin. Gasol is a Robin. I do not believe Kobe was a Robin in that situation. Like that's where this Robin term, like Jordan left and Scottie Pippen did dick with the Chicago Bulls, right?
Yeah.
Shaq leaves and Kobe wins 2 titles. That's where I'm like, I think that we just toss it around too much.
Yeah, I think because, in hockey reference, like, I wouldn't say Taves and Kane, there's a Batman and a Robin. I wouldn't even say there's a Batman and a Robin with Sid and Gino that had.
You wouldn't? That was the first one I was thinking of.
No, because, like, if we only draft Gino and Sid doesn't exist, we still win cups. You know what I mean? And Sid wins cups without Gino. I don't think that that's a. But, like, on the hockey spectrum, like, Draisaitl and McDavid, Batman and Robin. You have Ovechkin and Backstrom, Batman and Robin. Like,
what about with Yager and Lemieux?
Yager and Lemieux is probably a very similar thing to the Shaq Kobe thing, right? Where like
that's because Yager won scoring titles without Lemieux and stuff. So,
but he never won a championship.
Josh, here's a good one: Gretzky and Messier.
Gretzky and Messier is closer to the Shaq and Kobe thing. Where they both Gretzky never won a title without Messier. I'm just fucking saying.
But Messier did win. Messier won a title without him, though. So that's the interesting part. Yeah.
Dre writes in, Katie wanted his own situation, built it, and failed. Now he's fitting into another system, but that doesn't make him a bigger Robin than Scottie Pippen. No. Robin's loyal to Batman. Robin is Batman's protege. You don't just walk in and be like, "Hey guys, I'm Robin."
Technically, depends on the Robin. Because Dick Grayson, Darkwing, like, let's go, nerd talk.
He's Darkwing,
Nightwing.
Right? Yeah, Darkwing's Darkwing Duck, you dork.
Well,
I am the terror that flaps in the night.
That's right.
What do we got next, Josh?
Okay, well, let's jump into, let's start with KD, since that's who we've been talking about.
Yeah, I mean, again, woke up at 3 to take a piss, and KD was on his way to Phoenix. I think this is go, Greg.
I woke up at 7:15, and I sent you guys the good morning text with the Woj bomb that I saw while I was sleeping. So
cutest little graphic ever, Josh.
Thank you.
It's so. I will say my first thought was I'm pretty upset with the Phoenix Suns. It's not great for a professional sports team to aid in an addiction, Greg. I don't think if you're addicted to the finals, getting a player like Kevin Durant is not good for being a good person.
Is that why you don't like hockey? Because they're all addicted to cocaine.
God. Yeah. First of all, Josh's Taco Bell addiction is way more prevalent than Chris Paul's addiction to the NBA Finals. Let's be clear about that.
They've done a good job making him not be a part of his own addiction for these couple of years.
Yeah, that's clearly what this was all about.
The other thing is Dre saying now he's fitting into another built situation. This is the first time in Kevin Durant's career, and I guess maybe the second technically. This is the second time in Kevin Durant's career he didn't have a choice where he went. The team traded him. True. Getting drafted and being traded. So from Thunder to the Warriors, he selected. Warriors to the Nets, he selected. I guarantee he was cool with this move. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like they sent him somewhere to die. But I think that right now, currently, he is the best player that the Suns have ever had.
Oh. Can we talk for a second? Too, real quick?
Hold on.
About how
what's Josh's reaction to that?
Well, first off, Charles Barkley was a Sun.
KD's better.
Okay.
Charles has no rings is the tough thing.
True. Okay. What about Steve Nash?
I love Steve Nash. Kevin Durant is better. Steve Nash might be a top 20 point guard all time. Kevin Durant is probably a top 5 small power, whatever you want to put him at. Like,
is he the greatest Canadian basketball player ever?
I'd say that's pretty guaranteed, if not. He's also born in South Africa and moved to Canada, which is the wildest story ever.
Okay.
Who else? I mean, we can do this on Amari Stoudemire, who I love.
Yeah.
Just not
Sean Marion, if you want to go that route. Yeah, it's just that 04 Suns team was so good, and they screwed up so bad.
It's just crazy that you're saying he's like, I mean, like, you've defended it well, but like, it's kind of crazy to think that they just traded for this guy in the late part of his career, and he's the best player in franchise history. Like,
he's the most talented.
I'd say most talented, not really most decorated or anything like that. But he definitely brings in something that franchise needs, which is another scorer. I mean, I love me some Devin Booker. CP3 is okay.
Yeah.
I do, big in the chat right now, Greg, Josh. I don't even know if you've been introduced to this fine gentleman.
I know NBA Rig.
Good. NBA Rig.
NBA rigged. Well, man.
Well, you found your way to YouTube, brother. Pleasure,
and got
pleasure,
the
pleasure.
handle. That's the impressive part, I think.
That is the impressive part.
I would have been very lost if it was like Gary 337 or something.
I know. I would have been so upset, and I'm happy because we're talking NBA for most of the show, so this works out very well.
Yeah. I cut you off, Greg, when I said Durant was the best Sun. You were speaking on Durant to the Suns.
So what fascinated me first off about this, and can we just say, by the way, how big of a 6 months ago, how the Phoenix Suns were looking like they were about to be like at a massive crossroads when their owner got thrown under the bus, and they had a massive like misconduct allegation for them. Then 6 months later, a brand new billionaire buys the club, and then within 12 hours gets probably one of the most talented players in NBA history on his team. You can't make this shit up. I'm just throwing that out there. In terms of stability, and we can, and I'm not going to like bring up like ownership because this is brand new, so that's not even something I'm going to bring up. But in terms of stability, he's got Monty Williams as his head coach. He's got CP3 and Devin Booker as his backcourt. He's got DeAndre Ayton as a center, which I'm still surprised that the Nets didn't want in that trade, but it also kind of makes me also realize too that there's been some like weird shit with DeAndre Ayton for the longest time. So like I'm still even like unsure how that is going to work out. I don't know.
Sorry, Dre in the comments said NBA. Check out my KD take, bro, and let me know if you agree. He said Scott is the best Batman or the best Robin ever. Come on now. Sorry, Greg, keep going.
No, I don't know how. So I don't know much about their bench because they did trade a lot of like guys from it. Like Mikal Bridges is going to be like a tough set, but like aside from that though, like realistically, based on how just the starting five is set up right now, like they have to get to at least the Western Conference Finals, at least.
I think the finals, dude. They traded so much. They've already made the finals, right?
Yeah, no, like the year that our producer like went apeshit and got a title.
But that's my point. Is like they've made the finals with a lesser team.
Yeah,
maybe not lesser depth wise because they don't have much depth now. They got Warren, they got Bismack Biyombo, they got Cameron Payne. I think still.
They got absolutely embarrassed last year by the Mavericks in the Game 7 of the Western Conference Semis, where Luka just went off on them in the first half.
And Jalen Brunson, that was the game that got him paid. To me, it's NBA championship or this is a complete failure. You don't go get a controversial franchise killer like Kevin Durant unless you say we are winning a title, Greg. There's no, we made it to the Western Conference. That was a successful thing. Kevin Durant has 3 years left on this deal, I believe. They have 2 years, in my opinion, to win a title, including this year, before he starts up his normal stick.
But that's also part of the reason why I think it's not so much like I don't think it has to be a guarantee this year simply for the fact that he is locked into that contract. That's all I'm saying from that regard. I think if it doesn't end up going well this year, they can at least then build up the rest of the roster like next season or maybe like when Chris Paul goes on. Like if it doesn't work out, they can at least maybe address the deficiencies that they have and try to build their bench up to be able to make this work if they want. So that's why I'm saying like I don't think it's NBA Finals or bust for this so far because he's traded halfway through the season. They've got 3 months to make the playoffs and the Western Conference is stacked.
Well, so they're 4. Dallas is 5, I believe.
But dude, the gap between like 3rd and 13 is literally 4 games. It's
Greg,
incredible.
I absolutely get that. All you got to do is make the playoffs. Once you make the playoffs, nothing matters. The 8 seed and the 1 seed, whatever, fine. Normally it's shitty teams.
Right.
The Nets were the 8 seed last year, and they were favored to get to the NBA Finals for a lot of people because they had Kyrie and KD coming back healthy. I do want to say too before we switch topics. Did you guys see Kyrie's comments on KD leaving?
It was the one post game where he was like,
I normally don't really sit here and go, oh, Kyrie, that was smart. Or, oh, Kyrie chose his words there. Normally, I think Kyrie's pretty full of shit. I think he chose those words extremely well because I don't think either of them were able to do what they were supposed to be able to do with the Nets, which as an owner, why would you let them do that? You know what I mean? But I thought that was interesting at least.
But in fairness, whose fault was it that they weren't able to do the things that they were? Like KD was hurt. Kyrie did dumb shit that caused him to get suspended and also not be on the floor for most of those times. So
no, he refused the vaccine. We don't got to say it's dumb shit. He
No.
could not get the things done to work in the state of New York.
I was also referring to his stupid comments and retweeting the thing earlier, but that's another
the movie or whatever.
Yeah, the movie. Yeah. So he's an air
controversy. A lot.
He did a lot. Yes. So that's just so I can't. I don't want to say like I can blame the organization a whole lot with that, but that's for the next topic. Because I'm assuming we're just going to talk. We're talking Kyrie right now. Yeah.
The thing that I said on the phone call too. Is this the greatest sports blunder ever? The Harden, Kyrie, KD, because my point was they had an amazing young talented roster that made the playoffs as a 6 seed, right? They have all these guys that are amazing. They basically gave them away to the Cavs. They gave you know what I mean? They did so much to make this happen. This is one very, very much worse than Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce situation to the Celtics, in my opinion, Greg.
Yeah.
And
easily.
2, this may be the worst attempt in NBA history. This is worse than, I would say, Karl Malone and Gary Payton to the Lakers with Kobe, because that was absolutely terrible and that failed miserably. This is worse than I'm trying to think of other like parallel situations, and there aren't going to be many of like one.
So I've got like a couple in my mind. Steve Nash, Dwight Howard, and Kobe.
We in the defense of that situation, we should have had Chris Paul, but the league fucked us. But
and also and also who would have thought like Dwight Howard would just like immediately like just
he turned into a weirdo.
Yeah, just immediately went downhill on that one. Russ and James Harden. And with the Rockets?
Maybe, but this was Russ, or this was Kyrie, KD, and Harden.
Yeah.
Like, so maybe.
Well, here's the funny thing too. When you posed this question yesterday, I was trying to think of like other sports in general. And Josh, for when I was thinking of hockey in this case, I don't think it was possible simply for the fact that the salary cap is so hard to make real super teams in general.
That's not true. The Rangers have been trying to do it for decades. The Rangers had like 6 Hall of Famers on one roster at one point and didn't even get past the first round.
Jerome McGinley to the Pens.
Iggy to the Pens. Brendan Morrow.
Yeah, that was one of the bigger like what the fuck just happened moments in Penguins fandom for me. Like,
was it 2013? Is that right? Yeah, 2013 was an absolute flop.
If we're going to go like certain players, like I can make the case for like Brett Favre going to the Jets, maybe,
or what Aaron's about to do.
Russell Wilson to the Broncos,
real quick. That's a bad one, yeah. I was thinking of baseball too, honestly. And baseball, like I could think of the Angels like going like Albert Pujols and like CJ Wilson and all these guys.
Is it fair to just say the name Mike Trout?
Yeah, in general, just be like,
just
you
like
have
Mike
fucking
Trout.
Mike Trout. What's your fuck? And Shohei Ohtani now. Like, what the
He's
fuck?
He's a 6-tool player in a sport with 5 tools. Like, real quick, NBA rig Durant. He again failed as Batman. Now he's the same as GS with Booker. Gonna get a ring. He says Shaq was clearly the Batman. Kobe jumped on the back of Shaq. Literally, that was Superman's cape. Fuck you, NBA. Get out of here.
Wow.
I like that he's like, forget Batman and Robin. Superman played. And then...
Kobe was Lois Lane.
Disrespectful. Damn. I was not expecting that.
What's the longevity for these 3 guys? Well, these 4. Let's do Ayton in there. So what is you think they last 3 years? Ayton, Booker, Paul, KD. The reason that I only have issues, Josh, is because the Ayton situation where the Pacers signed him and they matched, I think is a little crippling in terms of what's to come with Chris Paul. I don't know if Chris Paul is on the Suns in 2 years. I think 3 is the line, is how I'd word it.
Okay. If they win a ring this year, I would not be shocked in the slightest if CP3 retires.
State Farm does pay well.
It does. They definitely do.
Sid has a good question. Is Gronk a Robin?
Yes.
If Travis Kelce is a Robin, then Gronk is a Robin too. Yes.
Okay. Well, then is Travis Kelce a Robin?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Well,
actually, you could even say that Travis Kelce was fucking Batgirl for a little bit with Tyreek Hill. Like,
wow.
How can Phoenix support all 4 Max? No idea.
They're paying minimums on a lot of guys, but that's
because
why.
they only have 4 guys. That's pretty much it. All right, next topic, Josh.
Okay, real quick, I do want to just weigh in on.
Yeah, please.
We've got Xavier Dussel, who is one of the guards for Wyoming, and is an Arizona native. Says ship or bust. Without a doubt, we just need to stay healthy, which I think is probably super fair.
I'm so sorry. I know you just said it. Who's he a fan of?
He's a Arizona native, and is a big fan of the Suns and works out with Book in the.
That's
summers.
awesome.
So, and then we also have a couple of quotes from Coach Mike Dawson, friend of the program. He says, "Suns make a run at it now for sure." And then I'm just going to read off some of his other ones because I think
coaching pick.
Yeah, it's pretty great, isn't it? I told you it was good.
I had no idea he was a coach until you told me, and I'm blown away.
He
absolutely blown away.
So I just asked him for some quotes because he's a big NBA guy, and a basketball coach. None of us are basketball coaches.
Can't confirm.
I don't think those trades make the Bucks or Celtics make a panic trade. It didn't. Mavs can't play defense worth a damn, but they can score the shit out of the ball. That's now very true.
Well, that's true.
He said Lakers got a little bit better, but their trade package they gave up looks so much worse now compared to what the Suns and Mavs gave up. And then finally, my favorite quote, no clue what Minnesota is doing at all. So from there, let's swing into the other blockbuster trade and Kyrie Irving.
The only thing I'll add for the Lakers one is I think it was a good thing we didn't get Kyrie based on 2 situations. 1, what we gave up for deloading versus Kyrie. 2, I think we have the potential to hold on to D'Angelo Russell for a long time now.
Sure.
He was drafted here. He loves LA.
Contract
I think, I don't think Kyrie sticks around on the Mavs forever. That was just my 2 cents of like, what's post, Galactus in LA look like? I'd rather have D'Angelo Russell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. The youth that they've added now, Rui Hachimura, Mo Bamba.
Yeah, Hachimura, we love him.
Mm-hmm. I think that's an interesting bench.
Calling the motherfucking phone.
All right, I'm gonna start this one off. I
didn't realize it was third down at Acrisure.
So here's the deal. I am not a Luka fan. I think Luka is a chump and a selfish player, and kind of like what you guys were talking about. Like he's in it for more than just basketball. And I'm curious. When you have an egotistical freak like Luka who screams at his coaches, screams at refs mid-game, like is constantly like this over-the-top personality, how's he going to vibe with the king of over-top personalities in Kyrie?
So first of all, I just want to say that's a little unfair singling him out as the guy who yells at the refs because I feel like every star player somehow in some way yells at the refs.
You can't say shit about that because of the way he treats the refs on and off the court. And particularly what I'm referring to, and I bring it up all the time, is that bullshit he pulled on fucking Valentine's Day with the female ref.
I only think it's bullshit if the female ref was offended. She was.
It doesn't matter. It was. How can you be?
Well, then you're getting offended for somebody who isn't offended.
I get
is
that.
My take on that. I don't really. You're defending the female ref because she's a female, but she also wasn't offended by it. So the stance on him being weird about it died for me that day.
I get what you're saying, but even just like the thought that like I don't know, like the thought to even do that, like he's the only one that did it, right?
Well, that we know of.
And he's also like just constantly like he's like when he yells at his coach, he's not like talking on the sidelines. Like he's screaming as he's running back down the court or whatever, like at the sidelines. Like he's constantly making this dramatic like waving his arms while the play's going on. It's not like after a whistle, like what Embiid did last night. After Embiid scored, he gave the big like swoosh arm effect to the ref, right? And he got technical for it, whatever. Luka's doing that shit as the play is happening.
Okay. I get what you're saying in that regards. With this though, especially with his coach, because his coach is Jason Kidd.
Yep.
One of the best point guards of our generation.
Player himself.
Yes, and I would add that Luka, because Jason Kidd is his coach, Luka wanted him as his coach and is also in the best shape of his life because of Jason Kidd, because he did not mesh well with Rick Carlisle at all. That's been proven, that's been written, that's been like out there for the longest time. There is a known a very good relationship between him and Jason Kidd. If Luka gets passionate during a game and gets angry and up in his face and stuff, I get you being pissed off about that, because yes, like you don't want to see your star player doing that. But at the same time though, I'd rather have a player that gets passionate and you have to reel back than someone that you have to
Mike Tomlin said, I'd rather have to tell a guy to come back than push him to go forward.
To be fair, most of what I'm referring to are things he did under Carlisle.
Okay.
So that's
okay.
In your defense, Josh, the guy didn't change. The guy is still the guy. I don't think that is needed in this one, but I will say Luka has been absolutely shoved down our throats. We are forced to watch him yell at the refs running down the court. He's in prime time, all this stuff. I mean, if you Google right now, you can find a clip of every player that is in the NBA screaming, yelling at the ref, stuff like that. I mean, we watched LeBron
literally jump up and down like a baby after
he
the
wailed like somebody just like that was one of the wildest things that I've ever seen with my two eyes. But I get it. But it's also like, for me with Luka, you come from a league that's tougher and you expect certain things in the NBA. Maybe he's spoiled in that sense, and I do get that picture of it. To me, Luka, I think is I think he's the fucking shit. But at the same time, I think all NBA players are somewhat kind of crybabies. I mean, and I do say though, Josh, the thought of him having an outside life being somewhat selfish is an interesting, and I think that was just one sentence in your giant take. I think it's an interesting thing to unpack when you look at Jordan shooting Space Jam with his bubble game, LeBron shooting Space Jam. Those are massive names in it, right? But then you look at situations like Ja Morant walking around with his logo on his shorts and leaking it that way. You look at all these deals playing are getting, taking, Bitcoin as money in the rookie contract, stuff like that. Like, I don't think I'll ever fault someone in that situation for caring about life outside of basketball from what we've seen. But it was that was the one thing I caught in there that I was like, it's an interesting point. I don't think Luka's in the NBA forever, guys.
Well, and also, keep in mind that I'm the hockey fan, the football fan, and my basketball player that I pick to be my guy is old school in Giannis, right?
Where very much.
He's very much a callback to
walked to basketball practice growing up with no shoes on. Like, he's that type of guy.
Right. Whereas, so anytime I see a player turn around and scream at a coach, like, that's triggering to me, I'm like, where the fuck do you get off? You know what I mean?
Right.
The
problem is, Josh, is that you're watching a league that is very player driven in that regard. So like, that's the majority of the guys that you're gonna see. Like, does it suck? Yes, but at the same time, like, that's just kind of the culture that we have. You see it in
football all the time. Who was the baseball player for the Pirates that beat the shit out of the Gatorade thing?
Sean Rodriguez.
Yeah, and Sean Rodriguez was bad at baseball and still did that.
Yeah,
I think that the fact that you see players' faces during the play is the big thing for NBA, right? You're watching Luka for a solid 4 minutes before a commercial break, and you're just watching him in his face. I know for a fact NFL players ream the refs, but they got a helmet on, they got mouth guard in, you know what I mean? So it is, I think you're getting shown him so much more because he is the great white Luka Doncic, right? You know what I mean? Like, he's being shoved down our fucking throats right now, Josh. Mm-hmm. So I get your take 100% based on that.
I think that's a fair counter argument.
And then let's also point out here too that like fuck, I mean, how many times have we seen Brady on the sidelines like take one of the Microsoft Service pads and just like toss them? And
they just like touted the Peyton and Jeff Saturday clip for like a year.
Yeah.
And like all of that shit. Yeah, agreed, Greg.
And you're right. And and a lot of it does have to do with the way, like, Tom throwing an iPad to me means he's pissed about what happened. But like Phil Kessel screaming at Gino and Sullivan is like a crybaby thing. Like, it just depends on the player. And it's just like you said, we see so much of him, particularly because the Mavs are good and he's the guy and all that other stuff, that like we see more maybe bad incidents from him that we don't see from like a Giannis or, whoever. But yeah.
I don't think you're wrong. And I don't think you're alone, Josh, is the other thing. Like, I think that's a very common thought with Luka, where like, because, think about the NBA history and think about all the guys in there where it's like, oh, he was really good. He just wasn't the guy during it. Like Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley is a fantastic basketball player. He played in an era of guys that just were better. Patrick Ewing was amazing. He played in an era of guys who were just better. Every team has their, this is our guy. I mean, Paul George was Indiana's guy for how long? He didn't do shit up there because LeBron, you know what I mean? So is Luka a guy that's going to win them a ring, or is he just another guy we're forced to watch multiple times and digest him because he's the guy right now, but he's never going to be the guy? So that makes me annoyed with him. That's a real thing that happens with NBA stars. Like, I think it's more common than we think.
So do we think Kyrie will mesh?
Yes. I think that Kyrie Irving is at the point in his career where he just wants to be happy. And I don't think he was happy in Brooklyn. And I think Luka right now is the closest, I'm going to say this out loud, Greg, closest thing to Magic Johnson we've seen. I think Luka could play this 5.
Well,
I didn't know what you said. You broke up.
He said, well.
yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said.
I'm sorry.
You said mellow. I was like,
I'm processing this like so bad because the more I think about it, you're not wrong in the fact that like Luka, just based on the team that he's on, like is kind of forced to have to play multiple
to be fair,
positions
it's probably LeBron.
with that regard.
Right? LeBron's probably the most Magic Johnson guy we've ever seen. But if we're looking at specifically the point guard position and what that entails, Luka is a distributor. He's a scorer. He knows what his guys are good at, that type of stuff. I don't see it as much of a disruption to bring in. And maybe, you know, we can talk about that being a good or bad take, him being Magic. But I see Luka Doncic as a guy who is very much in that LeBron mentality of I will make the right guys good at basketball. Jalen Brunson he's good this year, Greg. I know we yelled about it last week. He got a bag. A bag.
He did.
Because of playing.
He did. Can confirm. Oh, especially, and it was also for the fact too that like that one game where Luka didn't play and he dropped
Brunson
what 40
Yep.
against the Jazz. Oh yeah, like he deserved it. Like I'm not denying that, but you know what? And here's the funny thing too, especially because of his height and because of his length and all that. I can see the reasoning for you making that comparison because of the fact that like when Magic won that first ring with the Lakers and stuff, that was by necessity. He had to be the center. Like there was. Like, what else did he have to work with at that point? Like, Luka was kind of in that same boat for the longest time, but now it's different. And I'm curious how you bring that up now because of the fact that, like, how a backcourt with him and with Kyrie and Luka is going to go. Like, what if we're in a situation where Luka is not in that backcourt? Like, what if we get to the point where Luka, because of his, like, his height and, like, his strength that he does have, that he truly does have, because he worked on his, like, he worked on everything, like when Jason Kidd became the head coach. Like he focused on his diet, he focuses on being in strength. Like, what if he's now like not in the backcourt as often, and like Kyrie is essentially the distributor to him?
So
like that could be interesting.
Who was the distributor on the Cavaliers team when they won a ring? It was LeBron.
Wow. It was.
It was LeBron. Kyrie Irving is not going to take a second seat because he's Kyrie. I mean, Kyrie Irving is top. I don't know how you want to put it. Arguably the best ball handle we've ever seen outside of Jamal Crawford. To me, Luka distributes the ball. Kyrie Irving plays the 2 guard primarily, with the option to just insert him as a instant top 5, 10 point guard in the league right now if you want to. This is a matchup nightmare in terms of backcourt.
It is, and the reason I'm like trying to like process everything is because the knock on them both, trying to figure out how to defend those two is going to be tricky because you have no idea what's going to happen. Luka could either like drop it on you, or Kyrie can just distribute it, and then it wouldn't be an issue.
I mean, double teams are out the window right now.
Right, but the knock on them is going to be like the other side of the ball is how they defend, and I know like it's kind of like. You can another great way to defend is just put up as many points as humanly possible and then worry about it on the back end. Like that's another trick on this case, but it's going to be fascinating. And I kind of wish Luka was healthy, that we could have watched him against the Clippers, because I thought that would have been a fun matchup.
But Kyrie won the game.
Kyrie beat a fully healthy Clipper team with both Kawhi and PG playing. So like that's saying a lot right there that Kyrie was able to win that game on his own in that case.
Dinwiddie, Finney-Smith are the reason they won't go deep in the playoffs. NBA says depth is an issue with all these teams. I mean, we brought it up with Phoenix.
We brought it up with the Suns,
with the Mavs here. The ability to lose these key depth players, like Jay Crowder for the Suns, was a great player. Dinwiddie, Finney-Smith, great guys there. So it'll be interesting to see. But
I said Mikal Bridges leaving Phoenix is going to be interesting too, because I thought he was a great depth player for them.
That he was. All right, Josh, what do we got next, buddy?
All right, so just gonna read off a little bit more of the NBA trade deadline, and then we're gonna switch over to Super Bowl here really quick. But I do, because we have friends of the show who are big Knicks fans, I want to get their weigh in on the Josh Hart trade. Can Hart make the Knicks legit? Is what I asked Valtrain and Cole. Say his last name. How do you say Cole's last name?
Is that even how you spell it?
Yeah, I think so.
McCloskey?
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, Valtrain says we about to find out, and Cole says I'm very excited to see him and Jalen's chemistry. So, what do we think? Are the Knicks the only other big winner from the trade deadline, or is there some other teams that got better? What do we think?
I love Josh Hart. Great supplementary shooting guard. To me, man, he's a great piece for that Knicks backcourt. He's going to be this is arguably the best Knicks team we've seen since Melo and Stoudemire. I love me some Jeremy Lin. I love some other guys. It's good. Some of the other teams that I do think, just some general questions. Toronto didn't do dick. Miami Heat.
They got worse, if anything.
Did you see the Miami Heat story?
No.
I didn't read what it was. Miami apparently had a massive deal on the table, and it didn't go through because Pat Riley was napping, and they couldn't push send. They wouldn't push send without Pat Riley's approval, and they missed the deadline.
What was the deal?
I don't know.
I
can
God.
Look it up.
Oh my!
That's amazing. That's incredible.
I just wanted to say that. So yeah, said, did Heat's Pat Riley hit snooze button on trade deadline from yardbarker.com. I'll see if I can find it, Greg. You go though.
Well, I did want to point out here too, because when you bring up the Raptors didn't do dick. I mean, they brought in Jakob Pertl to help with their center spot and all that, but is something that I was thinking about with that regards too. I understand the Raptors are now essentially a play-in team, but I would not be surprised in the slightest if the Raptors kind of looked at the East now and kind of realized how there's less of a buzzsaw they have to go through because of the fact that the Nets basically withered at that point, that they could easily get back into playoff contention down the stretch if they wanted to. If everyone's healthy, Fred VanVleet, OG Anunoby, Pascal Siakam in that core, I could definitely see them getting top 6.
Greg,
at least, because who are they competing with? The Nets are probably falling off on that one. The top 4 right now are the Bucks, Celtics, Sixers, and Cavs.
Yep.
Cavs are a little shaky right now because they're
best defense in the NBA, but no identity.
Yeah, no identity, and they're shaky right now. So you never know what's gonna happen. But after that, it's a mix of the Nets, the Knicks, the Hawks, the Pacers, the Bulls, it's just it's a weird situation. So I think the Raptors just kind of looked at it and were you know what, let's try to go on one last run and see what happens. If they lose OG Anunoby and Fred VanVleet in free agency this year, I guess that's just something they're just going to try to recoup at that point.
Go ahead, Josh, because I want to read this Pat Riley story. So you say your takes on that.
That exactly what Greg was talking about. The Nets withering into nothing. The team that stands to benefit the most is 100% the Atlanta Hawks. They have the talent. They have the depth. All they have to do is put it all together and be healthy, and it's fucking over. They're going right back to where they were.
I will ask, and I haven't watched much Hawks basketball, shocker to everyone on the planet. I'm curious how the Trae Young Murray situation is going with their backcourt.
So far, I think it's been going pretty well. Because Dejounte Murray's not a scorer naturally.
Right.
He's
he's
a
a distributor, yeah. But you don't want to push Trae. You don't want to push Trae to the 2 guard.
No. And go ahead, Greg.
They're one
No, and-
below 500 right now.
Yeah, but the way that the East is set up, though, especially with like the stretch run coming, like they could easily like sneak into the play, not the play-in. I'm sorry, but they could sneak into the top 6 and not have to worry about going through the play-in if they want. Because Josh is right, like the talent on that team, though, like they should be better. They really should. But like I would not be shocked if they go on a run just based on that. But I would say the backcourt has been playing pretty well together so far.
The way they run their offense now, Derek, is that Trey brings it up the floor. He kind of looks it over. If he thinks he can beat Trey, he just goes off. If not, he distributes to Murray, and then Murray will run an offense to get Trey open. And then,
yeah, cool. I like that a lot. NBA Rig loves your Toronto take, Greg. So, Pat Riley.
I can't wait to hear this. I can't wait.
So, it wasn't so much they were going to get a big name, right? So, there was a deal that was nearly finalized, but the Clippers pivoted, trading Luke Kennard for Eric Gordon, dealing Reggie Jackson for Mason Plumlee, and acquiring Bones Haaland. Basically, the Heat, who have had like this year, the Heat are. I love the Heat. They're not.
Heat are another team that like could easily get into the top 4.
They're going to get in.
Yeah.
They're probably not going to go long. They're looking to offload some big contracts. They've had massive issues trying to offload Kyle Lowry's $29.7 million owed next year contract. The Clippers were ready to take Kyle Lowry off their hands in an instant. They literally couldn't get to. Pat Riley was unreachable because he was sleeping, but the 77-year-old is in siesta territory, is what it said. Dude, they were ready to offload Kyle Lowry to the Clippers, making the Clippers bigger frauds than ever before. And he was sleeping. He's 77, but man,
that's amazing.
I would have been like,
excuse me, Mr. Riley.
Yeah. If I was Pat, I'd be more pissed I wasn't woken up.
Yeah.
There is no goddamn way that you are going to walk up to Pat Riley and try to poke him in the face and be like, hey.
Not the face, Greg, like the arm, the shoulder.
The arm? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what the Timberwolves are doing either.
I would imagine that the way Pat Riley is sleeping or napping, he's probably on like in his like chair in his office, just like leaning back, and then just like has his head up like that, and he's just like.
No, see, in the defense of his team, coffins are tough to get into, so I understand. I get it. Like I get it.
They do look comfy
probably
though.
up and shit, like
yeah.
Well, he's in Miami. Like the sun's up all the time. Let's be real.
Yeah. Real quick, because I do want to give us a half hour for Super Bowl. Russell Westbrook's just fucked, right? Like that's the end of it. Like, sorry, bud.
Well, odds are that he's either going to play with the Jazz or he'll probably get his contract bought out. So he could have this choice of whatever team he wants to go to in that case. And I'm just saying, like, there's interesting spots that he could land if he wanted to, or like because for the record, like I think he's been coming off the bench. I think he's been great this year so far, but it was just that right situation that he needed the coach to kind of tell him that like, hey, this is where you're best suited for. And then it worked out really well for him. So like, I think he needs to go somewhere that like already has somewhat of an established backcourt and then be that like, that guy that can drop like 14, 15 in a game and then like not miss a beat from it.
He's a bum.
All right.
I mean, Greg, I don't know if you've seen the clip. He 100% got traded because at halftime, the Lakers coach told LeBron.
With the Darwin Ham thing? Yeah.
He's
Let's just have fun. Hey guys, coach is right. It's up to us. Let's have fun. Like shut up, man.
He's definitely the blue monster.
Dude. Yes, I love me some Westbrook. I think Westbrook he gets shit on for no reason all the time. He is going to go down as one of the coolest stars. He had the triple double. Like he's great. Learn to shoot a jumper.
First of all, Josh, he's the red monster. Just simply for the
that's Spud Webb.
Footwork. Can you believe it?
Yeah, but also he's really dumb.
I said to like and describe in the chat, so
like and describe, nice.
Instead of subscribe,
all right.
So
cool.
That's confusing.
Anything else? Last thoughts before we transition?
Nope.
The trade deadline was wild, and we are excited for the stretch run to come because the playoffs are going to be interesting. The West is going to be nuts to try to figure out what happens.
All right. it's the big game because no one's allowed to say Super Bowl, but we're not a big enough podcast where we would get flagged for it. So Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl.
I was just gonna say you just said it.
It all comes down to this: Chiefs, Eagles. Let's start with this right off the freaking drop. I need who you're taking and why. Greg, do you want to go first?
I will go first.
Okay.
I'm going Eagles. The reason I'm going Eagles is because all year, from what I have seen, this Eagles team is stacked everywhere. They have the best offensive line in football. I love their weapons with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. They utilize the running game well. They have a very good pass rush. The secondary is very good. Hassan Reddick has had a career revival out of nowhere because he was on territory being bust, just like every other Arizona Cardinal defensive draft pick that there is, for the record. Like, that's another topic on that. And they rotate their defensive line so well that they have healthy guys in their pass rush all the time. This team is stacked. This team has been well constructed. And I would love to see Jalen Hurts kind of have like that redemption story as like a guy that was benched at Bama and now is going to win a Super Bowl. So I got the Eagles. I think they're a better team. They're a deeper team. And just as a score, I'm going to say 34-31 because I think it's actually going to be a close game.
Deke.
If you're going to start and ask me who needs to be in this Super Bowl at the start of the year, this is before everything else, before Christian McCaffrey's trade, before, much happens on the Bengals side. It's these two teams, right? I mean, Philadelphia is arguably one of the greatest teams that has ever been put together top to bottom. They draft well. They hit on every single thing. They do
Except Jalen
everything.
Rager.
Yeah, but that's the point.
I know.
Is that they still turned it into a positive. They could have had JJ. They get AJ Brown. Greg, the Philadelphia Eagles are everything I wish the Steelers were. And here's what I mean. They draft extremely well when they need to. I get Jalen Rager. I understand that. We've had misses.
I know. It's just a joke, yeah.
No, it's a good point, though. It's a good point. They go out of their way to sign players who fill needs. They pay players who need it. And they take quarterbacks because that's the contract you need to hit on, right? Carson Wentz at that time worked. They were able to cut ties with Carson Wentz. I don't think we should fire Tomlin in any way, shape, or form. They're able to comfortably tell Doug Peterson to kick rocks, who won them a Super Bowl. Bring in Nick Sirianni. They fill gaps where are needed. Bringing in the guy out of Temple, Hassan Reddick. Bringing him in, Greg, he's amazing. They took Hargrave away from us. They signed Darius Slay. They bring in A.J. Brown. They are everything I wish the Steelers were because they drafted well on the O-line and D-line. They have Cox. They have Kels. They have all these guys coming in there. Dickerson, who they moved to guard. The best center in his class, they moved to guard out of a luxury. This team every single year is everything every NFL franchise should look to be, except for the fact that they just have the worst fans on planet Earth. Moving to the Chiefs, though, I genuinely believe that Patrick Mahomes will go down as the best, the whatever. I don't think he touches Tom Brady's records and all that stuff. But when you look at Patrick Mahomes and his first 5 years as a starter, 4 years, whatever it is, straight AFC, him and Andy Reid are great. I think that this Super Bowl is everything the NFL wants because the Eagles are willing to cut tie with anyone and everyone to make it work. And they cut ties with Andy Reid, who put another franchise. The Chiefs were not good before Andy Reid. Yes, they've had some good quarterbacks, all that stuff. A bum fucking franchise till he gets there. If you're going to write a script for the Super Bowl, this was it.
Yeah, because you literally have the Andy Reid revenge game, and you have brother versus brother in the Super Bowl, which is just really freaking cool. So there's a lot to digest in this one. And this is the first time in a while, I think, that it's the two number one seeds in each conference that are playing each other.
Long time. And I think that the fact that the second seed doesn't get a bye week comes into play. But this is also an example of what you can do. One is I think still, highest paid quarterback in the NFL. The other is a rookie contract quarterback. You can make it work with both. I think that's the largest thing people need to get here. I'm a big fan of rookie quarterback contracts and building the team around it. I said the Lions should go for a quarterback. Seattle doesn't need one this year, but they could go. All these teams that are ready to win, like win now, who don't need it. You can win with paying your quarterback $500 million. You can.
Mm-hmm.
It's an awesome, awesome thing. I did say it's scripted, Dre. It is scripted. This is the perfect scenario for the NFL. Every single thing is different. The Eagles have great lines. The Chiefs pick up mercenaries. The Eagles come out here with no true identity. The Chiefs are the air raidest of air raid offense. The Eagles come in with a brand new young coach. The Chiefs have a legacy coach whose coaches are now coaching.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful.
Also, by default, Nick Sirianni.
No,
Nick Sirianni's also technically part of the Andy Reid tree too.
Yes, he is. If I was going to sit down here right now today and be like, I'm not surprised this team won without fandoms, without Grace's expectations, without Ping and Jackie and Philly, if I'm picking what I think is the best football team, it's tough to not say the Kansas City Chiefs. If I'm picking who I'm rooting for, it's the Eagles. Here's why, Greg. The Eagles have the best team top to bottom, right? They just do.
Mm-hmm.
The Chiefs have it's going to sound so bad, the greatest quarterback coach tandem I've ever seen, and it's not a bad thing with Belichick Brady. Belichick Brady's better than Andy Reid Mahomes. They just are, whatever it is. What I'm seeing with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes is Andy Reid going, "Can you throw it 85 yards?" And Mahomes going, "Yeah." And he goes, "I got to play for that." Like where Belichick was like, "Hey, Tom, here's all of our plays. Can you throw this within 2 seconds left and then get the spike off?" "Yeah, I can do that. I got to play for that." It's beautiful to see the perfect thing. This is the most perfect quarterback coach matchup or situation since Belichick Brady. And I don't know if there's any more. These are the top 2 quarterback coach situations ever. Chiefs should win. I'm rooting for the Eagles.
All right. So here's the story.
About a lady
who had 3 very lovely girls.
She had girls.
Yeah.
I like to envision that song as a Migos song.
Yep.
Girls.
R.I.P., by the way.
Not all of them.
Well, one of them.
Yeah, which one, Greg?
Was Offset?
Oh, Greg, I was trying to help you. Just look at this.
Sorry.
Your arm.
Sorry.
What do planes do when they leave the ground?
Take off.
There you go.
Do you know they have the coolest names ever?
They do.
Greg, I'm going to read you all 3 of their names real quick, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I spelled off-seat instead of offset. Offset's name, Kyrie Kendrell Cephas. Quavo's name, Quavius Kayata Marshall. Takeoff's name, Kershnik Kari Ball. Those are 3 of the coolest names, and
they didn't
none
have
of them
to change their names.
They did not.
Quavius and Quavo, I get, but someone said all their names sound like the sound it makes when you pull a sword out of a sheath.
Wasn't Quavo like a D1
5-star.
like college? Yeah, 5-star recruit too.
5-star quarterback, baby. Josh, sorry, you're good. Giving a take.
Okay, so here's the deal. And it kind of feels like I'm just copying Derek, but this is my truth. I do believe that Andy Reid is just too fucking good of a coach, and he has his perfect tool. Literally, we watched it happen when in the first playoff game, Mahomes sprains his fucking ankle, right? Like the most mobile, gifted quarterback maybe of this generation, and somehow the offense doesn't skip a fucking beat when not Tyler Henneke. Fucking what's his nuts? What's his name? Who came in?
Chad Henne.
Chad Henne. Thank you.
Yeah.
Chad Henne comes in. They score a fucking touchdown. Then Mahomes comes back and the offense is still fucking clicking, right? He went toe to toe with Joey B, right, and won that one out too, which is like it was Burrowhead, yada yada yada, right? No, it wasn't. Mahomes had it in the fucking bag. I think ultimately the Eagles are going to fall in the 2 biggest positions in football, quarterback and coaching. Whereas on the other sidelines, you maybe have, like Derek said, the greatest combination ever.
So you're banking on like an Atlanta Falcons situation, basically.
No, I think it'll be gun for gun and closer to like how the Bengals ended, where like the team that makes the mistake gets punished.
For me, it comes down to because the Chiefs are going to score
30
fast
points
and often. It's what they do.
Yep.
But it comes down to like the Chiefs' ability to slow their offense down to kill time, because the Chiefs will go down and score in 6-7 minutes, right? This Philly team is built to kill time. Like Jalen Hurts is a great. Devonta Smith, AJ Brown are terrific. Dallas Goedert's a for sure first down security blanket. They have a rushing attack. I'm not a big Miles Sanders guy, never have been, but Boston Scott, Kenneth Gainwell, they have a three-headed monster that's good. It comes down to the Chiefs. So the Chiefs score in 4 minutes. The Eagles could then score in 12. You know what I mean? Like obviously not, but the larger point being here, these teams are going to script based off what they can. Can the Chiefs either A, score in a few amount of time or extend it, whereas the Eagles are going to take all their good old time to get down the field because they know what they have. It's going to be a really, really big chess match, and I'm excited.
Do you think Sirianni is smart enough to milk that part of his game enough that, like, because we know it only takes Patrick Mahomes 11 seconds to score a touchdown. Is Sirianni good enough to milk that time to keep Mahomes from being Mahomes?
Jalen Hurts is.
Interesting.
So,
Especially
Sirianni but Jalen Hurts.
Especially with Jalen Hurts still kind of like, I don't think he's 100% healthy either. So, like, I think they're going to rely on the run game a little bit more in that case, too. And this, as good as Chris Jones is, this this Chiefs defense is still the weak point of this team. I think they could still take advantage of this Chiefs defense to the point that, like, it's clearly the weakness. Like, if you keep
the weak point is it's either them or the offense, and it's not the offense.
Well, it ain't the offense, no.
To be exactly particular, their secondary is built of rookies, right? They have like
very
5.
True, yeah.
It's all rookies, and they have no defining player in the middle. On the outside, absolutely. But
yeah,
like,
physically, no one's gonna go 1-on-1 against AJ Brown, and I can't see anyone that can cover in terms of a speed demon against Devontae Smith. Like, so that's the trick right there. And then
I think Trent McDuffie's had a good year. I don't think he's elite at this point, but he's had a good year. And Thornhill, we loved coming out.
Thornhill was very good coming out. That's fair. But actually, what would work is if you put all your guys down in the secondary and stuff, you leave the middle wide open for Dallas
That's the bigger thing is what Josh just said, that middle there. I mean, their linebackers aren't anything to write home about. Bolton Dunlap.
But that's also why when you look at the opposite side, the weakness on the Eagles defense is their rush defense. Like and the Chiefs have done a very good job, like, with running the football.
I need you to explain that more. This is a Eagles team that broke the record in sacks this year.
No, that's pass rush though.
Oh, their rush defense.
Yeah,
I
rush
apologize.
defense. Stopping the run. Yes.
When you see, I was like,
it was weirdly phrased, but yeah, that's
okay. No, you're good. I got you.
Sorry, I should have said run defense.
The Chiefs don't do well. I mean, they activated Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Jerick McKinnon's going to be their highest rusher, probably with 67 yards or something like that.
Yeah.
What?
The Chiefs team is dump off.
Do you think that's going to be their top rusher?
Jerick McKinnon, yes.
Not Piaco or however the hell you say it.
Pacheco.
Pacheco.
Yeah.
McKinnon shows up when it matters. Okay. I like Isaiah Pacheco a lot. Shout out Rutgers.
That's
big
right.
fan. Yeah. I saw Frick at the day.
Can we talk about, by the way, just how much of a cliff like Clyde Edwards-Helaire has fallen off? This is a dude that was a first-round draft pick and has just been into the doghouse for no reason.
It's tough to fall off a cliff, Greg, when you were never up there.
Well, as a college player, he was up there. He was fucking incredible as a college player.
He's never once had an elite pro season.
He's only been in the league for 2 years?
3.
Like,
this is his third.
This is his third year.
Yeah,
his third year. Okay, I thought it was. I thought it was 2 or 3 at least.
Let's
I thought
see.
2, but
we have the internet.
We do have the internet. Shout out to Google. You're that guy.
2020.
Yeah. So third year.
So this is.
Or he's going into his third year.
No. He played the 2020 season.
Oh, okay.
2021 season. This is the 2022 season. This is third year.
Okay.
Yeah, I hate years. That always confuses me. Another thing that I do want to bring up for this Super Bowl that I think is an interesting conversation is that I couldn't be more happy that Dre and the ranking were so fucking wrong about Patrick Mahomes.
I still
I'm sorry,
remember
I missed that take. So you're gonna have
Josh,
to
They
refresh.
had them at third in the division.
Oh God.
Dre. So to be fair, Dre, I think your takes, I think he hit 50% of his like audacious. Like Dre's like, here's my like audacious takes. This is Dre said I'll never bet him against. In Dre's defense, his takes are like, I'm gonna try something. He had the Chiefs at 7 and 10. The rankings court crazy guess, which is another like crazy guess. Like, hey guys, you know what? I'm gonna throw out and put my heart out there and see it. Neither of these guys were like banging the table, saying Mahomes is gonna suck. Mahomes is gonna suck. Both of them were like, dude, he doesn't have Tyreek Hill. I think he regresses. Dre had him at 7 and 10. The ranking had him outside of the top 10 fantasy quarterbacks.
Ranking was very, very adamant about Mahomes taking a regression this year without Tyreek Hill, and I said he was out of his mind.
And they've both taken it on the chin.
So
let the record show.
So they looked at the Raiders, the Broncos, and the Chargers all getting better.
Well, the Broncos get Russ.
Yeah.
The Raiders get Adams. And the Chargers were supposed to be one of the most elite NFL teams ever this year.
Right. So that's where they're getting that from. Whereas like the Chiefs on paper got maybe worse, getting Juju and Marquez.
And in fairness, Josh, like that was the push. Like this entire offseason up till training camp was the AFC West was gonna be a dogfight. It was gonna be a beast. It was gonna be the toughest division in football, and the Chiefs ended up winning it by like 4 or 5 games.
Yeah, you to Dre's point. You just never bet again. I had the NFC West as Chargers, Broncos, Raiders, Chiefs, Dre said. So he Chiefs at the last, which if you look at the Raiders team, they were a win now team with an offensive minded coach coming in with Derek Carr, who had an MVP season-esque under his belt before he broke his leg, adding Devonta. Like none of their reasoning was wrong. Like when they showed their work, it was there. It was just like dude, it's Mahomes.
No, like hell, if you look at the Broncos on paper, everyone thought this team was a quarterback away. Just no one expected Russell Wilson to regress as bad as he did. So like it's up in the air at this point.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Who ribs like barbecue or cheesesteak?
Cheesesteak.
Really?
Not even close.
Wow.
Not even close.
Are the best cheesesteaks in Philly?
Some are saying.
Juju asked that. He said they're not.
I do. No, they're in New Jersey. To be honest, they're in New Jersey. They're not in Philly. They're in New Jersey.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay,
absolutely.
I didn't know that.
Well, it's right there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that. It's like that weird border crossing.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same. Like nobody in New Jersey cheers for the Giants or the Jets, right? They cheer for the Eagles. So, yeah.
Which is weird because both teams play in New Jersey.
Yeah, technically, the whole thing's fucked up. And they play
DeMeco Ryans has been named the AP 2022 Assistant Coach of the Year.
Oh.
Shout out to him, the new Texans head coach, which by the way, I do like that hire. Just saying.
Yeah, you got to go get like one of the, to say the best franchise players of all time. Not really great for the Texans, but still, that's a big hire.
Point,
that would be if in 4 years, 5 years, when Tomlin's done, we hand the reins to Ben.
A little different because DeMeco Ryans worked his way through.
We'll say Hines Ward is a better comp there.
Okay.
Because Hines Ward is going through the coaching route. But I know what you mean, Josh.
Yeah.
You're not incorrect.
Hey, you're talking about the head coach of the San Antonio Brahmas, by the way. Just throwing that out there. The XFL.
The fuck is
the XFL. I have no idea.
18th they kick off? Yeah.
The 18th, yes.
Yep.
Can I suggest something, by the way? Simply because the XFL is starting the weekend after the Super Bowl. On our next show, can we like go through and pick the team that we want to root for the entire season?
I think that'd be fun. A full roster breakdown.
Did they change the teams?
So it's the Battlehawks, the Sea Dragons, the Renegades, the Brahmas, the Defenders, the Roughnecks, the Vipers, and the Guardians, I think.
Okay, so there's Tampa's still there.
No, some of them changed locations. So I think Tampa's now in Las Vegas.
So let's look.
They don't have Quentin Flowers. Is that what you're telling me?
A league of 8 cities. Arlington's team. Oh my God, it's Bob Stoops. Houston's team. Oh my God, it's Wade Phillips. Las Vegas. Oh my God, it's Rod Woodson for Las Vegas. What the fuck is happening? Orlando has Terrell Buckley. San Antonio has Hines Ward. Seattle has Jim Haslett. St. Louis has Anthony Becht. Washington, D.C. has Reggie Barlow. Holy shit, those first 4 names were electric. Wade Phillips. I just mentioned him the other day. I called him the
Shut-
greatest coordinator in NFL history.
I would throw Buddy Ryan in that one, but that's just me.
It was, yeah. Fuck you. Your
Sorry,
answer's
sorry.
probably correct.
46 defense. I'm sorry, but
I
yeah,
know. I know. You know what I mean, though.
I know what you mean. But yes,
Act like
But
Dick
yeah, shout
LeBeau
out-
never existed.
shout out to Dwayne the Rock Johnson for putting that together. Yeah, just saying.
Wade Phillips turned the reason I love Wade Phillips is because that was a nice convo we had in 12 a.m. Deke. Yeah, facts. 12 Angry Men is our dynasty league. We had a good convo about the best OCs. The reason I think Wade Phillips is the best coordinator for DC ever is because you have the like sex appeal Sean McVay wheeling in his grandfather. I loved that Rams team, dude. When he was like, Wade Phillips, my guy, I'm like, all right, well, they're definitely fucking related. Like,
By the way, I'm going to point this out here too. If the Rams did not win the Super Bowl last year,
That would've been a
we
big
could make the
bust.
case. We could make the case for them being the greatest like disaster ever because like this just for this year alone, like all of those guys like were either injured or on expiring contracts altogether and stuff. That team basically bought a Super Bowl.
Yep, they called their shot
think about
on
it.
Stafford. They signed OBJ. Like they really, yeah. I agree, Greg.
Yeah, that entire defense was all mercenaries and stuff,
Yep.
and it was a patchwork offensive line. So like, if they did not win that, if they didn't win a ring, like you could have made the case that like that was the biggest disaster ever.
Fair. I do want to say that OBJ still has not been signed to a team. We have till Sunday, I guess, technically, but he was waiting for a Super Bowl team, so we'll see what happens there.
We'll see what happens on that one.
All right, Deke, real quick.
Weirdo.
Have you placed any bets yet?
Not yet, dude. I was looking at lines and stuff. I have not put money down,
Okay.
but I'm ready to discuss.
All right. So
what is the line at? Just out of curiosity, I was curious because like I thought it was like it was a push or like an even for the longest time. I'm sorry.
that's a good
I was curious.
question. I know that the Chiefs were plus 100 going into the game.
Yeah, I think Eagles are favored.
The
even
Eagles
though
are
they consider
favored.
themselves, even
The
though they always
over
wear
is
a
at-
fucking dog mask.
At least when I got it, the over was at 50 and a hook, which I thought was like spot on.
That's tough.
Yeah. I'm trying to get it to load here. Hang on, guys.
You're good. I put it up on desktop. I'm going to football, NFL. 1 game left.
1.5
there.
is the
Yeah.
spread.
Wow. 1.5.
That's crazy. That's
Money
gonna be
line.
so
Chiefs
messy.
are 103, and then overs at 51.
Oh, my over's at 50, but yes.
Are you on Barstool or are you on MGM?
I'm on MGM because we don't have Barstool in Wyoming.
Smart.
Or actually, I'm on-
MGM, dude, I'm done with
FanDuel.
Barstool Sportsbook because MGM literally gives you so many free bets and shit.
Hmm.
Barstool has only given me free bets like twice. No, I love the app. I love the moving line. Some of the interesting ones though. So lines that I would take. Receiving yards is always my favorite one, so I'm going to pull that one up.
Okay.
real
While you're looking,
Yeah,
so I
please.
have Chiefs and the over, and then I have to score first touchdown. I always pick both teams just because it's dumb to pick one team because you just literally don't even know who's going to start with the fucking ball, and I do
Hedge it.
think who starts with the ball scores first.
Mm.
So
Interesting.
I have Travis Kelce for the Chiefs, which is a no-brainer, and I have our Penn State boy Miles Sanders for the Eagles. And then the will probably happen parlay. I have 2 parlays. It's a 3-leg bet, and this is the score anytime. Jalen Hurts, Miles Sanders, and Travis Kelce.
Can I add one thing to every one of yours?
Yeah.
Opening kickoff to result in a touchback, minus 137. That's a guarantee.
Yes, absolutely.
There's not a chance in hell the opening kickoff is
Right.
not a touchback.
Right.
I might bet $1,000 on that. I might fuck around and pull my entire savings out. I might put $1,000 down on a touchback and watch them bootleg it for an onside kick.
That'd be incredible.
And then my probably won't happen parlay is all 3 to score anytime. Patrick Mahomes, pretty good, maybe, depending on the
Yeah.
ankle.
Yeah,
Boston Scott, the goal line threat. So
Not the Giants, but I love it.
feels
Okay.
pretty good, right? And then our boy from USF, Marquez Valdez Scantling, to score anytime.
You know,
Not Pacheco.
No,
No Rutgers guys.
no Rutgers guy. I should have put him instead of
the
Boston
fullback
Scott.
Michael Burton, he's a Rutgers guy too.
Oh, that's right. He's an old Rutgers guy at this point.
Yeah.
He's been around forever.
I would not be shocked in the slightest if this comes full circle for MVS and he actually does score in the Super Bowl. That'd be pretty like apropos for him.
I could see it.
Cool.
Also, final play of the game to be a quarterback kneel -230.
See, I think somebody will be driving. I don't think it'll be a kneel.
No,
I would
+180.
I would say a pick or a sack is more likely.
I would hit the no then. It's +180.
Oh, there you go.
But
What
the
are
the pick with 3 seconds left on the clock, they kneel down, then a kneel.
True.
Oh.
You're sniping that. What are the odds that someone gets caught watching the halftime show again this year?
I mean, it's Rihanna, so very good.
Marcus Valdez-Scantling already said, "Can I wait out and watch the halftime show?" He tweeted that like when Rihanna was announced. So.
Oh, so it's definitely happening then. I saw Rihanna say something about how like she's struggling with the fact of like she has set 13 minutes to fit like 17 years worth of music.
Yeah, can we talk about that?
Thing.
Grace and I were talking about it, and I was like, dude, like I love Rihanna. Do not get me wrong. Weird.
Yeah.
Like, and like, yeah, she has a tour coming up. I want to know the process that goes into picking who it is because, like, I love Rihanna. This is not a knock on Rihanna. She just hasn't released music since 2016 outside of 4 or 5 seconds in the Wakanda Forever soundtrack. I want to know the process that goes into it. She's worthy of it, and she's tremendous. And pawn to replay, I'm going to take my fucking shirt off and streak. But I just don't know the process that goes into it. Yeah, like, why, where's, like, Beyonce hasn't done a halftime yet, right?
No, she has.
Yeah.
Beyonce did. Yeah. Beyonce did the one in
the lights went out. Ravens 49ers. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah. Like
honestly, this was a one-off. I want Rihanna to have a halftime show. Just not releasing music that long. It was an interesting.
I think
thing.
we're in a really weird situation because last year's was so epic, right?
Facts.
It was like done by committee basically. And then the year before, The Weeknd got lost, and it was like meme worthy and still a great performance.
Had a really good tweet that year.
You went viral that year. Yeah, that's true.
Nano-viral, but viral.
And then the year before that,
Corey in the house one, yeah.
The year before that was the biggest fucking flop of all time, where Maroon 5 guy took his shirt off, and everybody's like, "Oh, check out the flash sheet that guy got tattooed." Yeah, that's.
The Travis Scott one. Yes.
Who's So okay, real quick, who's your guys' dream Super Bowl
halftime show? Oh, jeez.
I have my answer, and it's kind of cheating.
I
so I have
think
a
mine
real
was
answer
last
and my
year.
answer.
Like that. Like I don't know that I would have dreamed that up, but like
Kendrick was so good, dude.
Can we do
Outcast and Upside Down?
Kendrick was the first time I had seen in years because he hadn't done anything in like 5 years, and then immediately afterwards I find out he's releasing an album, and I was just like, oh God, my heart.
Let me pick Outcast.
That's a great answer.
Outcast would be awesome.
And here's I have a reason. Because
please.
Outcast is so pivotal through the great run of soundtracks Madden had through the 2000s.
That's a good point.
There was an Outcast song in every single one of those. And I would just, give me Outcast.
Greg?
I don't know. It's so hard. I would love like a weird rock combination, honestly. And Josh might roll his eyes at this one, but if this was like a hella mega tour type one, like which was like Green Day, Fall Out Boy, and Weezer, I think that'd be fun. I think it'd be really fun. Like, yeah, so like kind of like a weird amalgamation of something like that. I don't know about like a pop performer would be like kind of hard for me because like I truly like don't listen as much pop as I should. So
Dua Lipa and Jack
imagine
Harlow.
not picking Dua Lipa, yeah.
Dua Lipa and Jack Harlow together. And they just hump, and we're all like,
I would be
glued.
Okay, I'd be glued to the TV if Dua Lipa was on my screen performing the Super Bowl halftime show. Just ending it at that. Fine. I will.
I mean, I'd also be down for like a Megan the Trainer and Cardi B collab. Would be fun. Or not Megan the Trainer, Megan the Stallion. Sorry.
Megan Trainer is her legal name. She's not a trainer.
Yes, exactly.
she's
Megan
Trainer married to the kid. She's married to the ginger from Spy Kids.
They're wildly different people.
Megan the Trainer.
I would like to see at the Super Bowl. That's what I want.
That is the Stallion.
Listen, could you imagine the uproar if Cardi B was doing the halftime show for the Super Bowl? Like, it'd be incredible, but it would be so.
My pick, my cheating pick, And Grace told me he's shitty live, and I said that's not the point. It's DJ Khaled because
Yes.
of the names he would bring.
The amount of people he would bring in would be incredible.
He would go broke paying artists to come on stage.
Yep.
Yeah.
He would do that, and then Bieber's my like. Okay, if I have to pick one artist, just because
Bieber would be good.
it's
Drake.
just he has such a catalog. Yeah, like
Drake would be
Drake
incredible.
Is a big
That's
name,
fair.
Bieber's a
Yeah.
big name. Let's bring JT back. Fuck it. See some.
Listen,
boobs. I don't know.
it's been long enough. We're fine. Like there's boobs on cable TV now all the time. Like it's not a big deal anymore.
You're the only person on this podcast that has cable, so you would know.
That's true. I am.
do also, just real quick, the only
That's why my
redeemable
internet is
thing
shitty.
about the LeBron ceremony was Drake on the green screen.
Facts.
That was
Facts.
I know it was corny, but I was fucking into it. So
NBA said, which female performer would you guys fave at the moment to replace Rihanna if Rihanna wasn't there? Female. Josh said Meghan Trainor. So who's had a TikTok song in the past 20 years? So that's a good answer. Mine would be.
I know they hate each other, but could you imagine like a duo with Cardi B and Nicki Minaj?
I could not, but I would love it.
a rap.
I would love it.
There would
It would be
definitely be
incredible.
there would be boobs in that one from the fight.
Yes, there
There would be boobs
would.
in that one.
Yes, there would.
There absolutely would. Right this second in time, I'd probably go with SZA.
SZA would be great.
Her album
Okay.
just dropped, but I think you don't put someone whose album just charted #1 as the Super Bowl person, right?
No.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think Megan
yeah.
Thee Stallion or Dua Lipa or Megan and Cardi. Yeah. Those
Yeah.
are
My heart would not be able to take it, but yeah, that's just me.
I think Nicki deserves it too.
true.
She
Um,
does deserve it.
Because then
shout-
we'd get 3MB too.
Yeah.
If Nikki does it, and they probably wouldn't play Truffle Butter, but if I just heard the riff
They
of it
could.
before they went into another
Yep.
song, that'd be great.
Right.
Cardi B on Nicki on Motorsport. Rest in peace. What's up, Sid? Another wonderful episode of 2 Beers Deep, guys.
Yes.
As always.
Our best episode since last week. NBA, Ty, Dre, Chip, Sid, everyone that commented along the whole show. Dave, we appreciate you guys so much for coming in. Ways you can support, check out the podcast. That'll be live tomorrow on Spotify and Anchor. This entire episode drops the podcast. We'll have clips coming out next week. Subscribe, like, check it out on YouTube. Everything is going to be pretty YouTube focused moving forward for all the right reasons. And check us out on TikTok. We are doing somewhat pretty good. A lot of people hate me for my John Morant take last week, which I love.
Controversy reigns supreme, apparently. Because what it is, you know what? The people on TikTok probably don't have an idea of superstars in the early 2000s and 90s anyway, so.
They just
Go
have
figure.
no idea. That's a good point. Awesome, guys. Next time we see each other, the Super Bowl will be had, and we are diving so drastically into the off season, which starts with coaching carousels and mock drafts
And XFL.
and XFL.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's all I got. Josh, you want to tell everyone you love them, or what are we doing?
Bucks
for a
versus
send-off?
Suns, run it back. Let's fucking go.
Christ. See you guys next week.
And watch Giannis just own KD. I love it.